Are you ready? Can Crushers. It don't really get no better than this the podcast that you're looking for if you're really heavy into wrestling. Hosted by the Mark. Energy that's so amazing. Gotta keep it entertaining. Rep the Can Crusher Nation. Yeah, you know what's going down in the ring. Lights out when you hit a ding ding. Knock 'em out like boom bada bing. Hold it down, you can crown me the king. Got a shout out to the Miz and Duke the Dumpster. We choke slamming everybody. Power driving, hit 'em with a face buster. Yeah, this the show you need and it ain't no need for waiting. Mark, hold it down for the Can Crusher Nation. All about wrestling and keep it entertaining. Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. Time to break 'em, let's go. Yeah. Can Crushers. Yeah. Can Crushers. Let's go.
Hey, this is former WWE superstar Duke the Dumpster Drosy, and you are listening to the Can Crushers Podcast.
Welcome to Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. Why are we subtle? Because it's really early in the morning again. I'm Mark. That's Mike. We're back after a random week off. It just...
random sabbatical.
You guys know life just hits sometimes. And if you're going to ask me what happened, everything going on in my mind, I don't remember why. What was last week? Where was I Friday? Friday, and then Saturday came to head, and
last week it was a whirlwind. It was like there's a celebration Thursday, there is a show Friday that I think you just ended up wandering into, and then wait, were you being legitimately forgetting?
I was being legit. Honestly,
I thought you were playing this up. I thought you were playing it up like, where was I? I was in Pittsburgh at SmackDown.
Well, that's how memorable SmackDown was last week.
That's fair. Yeah.
Now I remember, hey, there's only like two things that I really cared about while I was at SmackDown, besides hanging out with some friends that I usually don't get to hang out with, yada, yada, yada. So,
right. But,
yeah.
Man. Well, that's the review of last Friday's show before the draft, so.
Right. So I also got to see you this week as well.
You did, in a shocking turn of events. We got to hang out on Thursday night, taking a couple innings to see what was in that. And
that went into extra innings?
I did see that.
Thank God we left.
Oh my God.
One was cold as hell.
It was very cold. It was sunny out. It was a nice night, but just cold April weather up here in Erie. But extra innings. We left, eighth inning? Top 8?
Yeah.
Which that was a pretty quick game. It was going pretty fast for the most part.
It was. I told you that I had to stop and get, snuff, chewing tobacco, whatever you guys call it out there. This voice better fix, by the way, by later on today. Just saying.
Yeah.
I'm really disappointed. We'll talk about that here in a second. But we both saw each other kind of just randomly pulling out because we parked on different sides of Erie.
Yeah.
I had to stop. I got a coffee for the ride home. I was along with snuff. But when I saw you, my hand was still numb. I'm going to be that bitch, that cold guy right now. My hand was still numb when I waved to you like, bye.
Well, what was funny is I actually was like, it's going to be cold out. I put a coffee in a thermal mug in the car for when I got out so I could warm up.
Oh, bitch. You already knew.
Well, you know what? Well, I knew, but I picked the wrong mug because it was Luke cold at that point. It was going cold. That mug was not holding it heat at all. So it was like, all right, whatever. But you make do. It was still coffee.
Yeah, I had nothing in the Jeep, and I was like, whoa. So, yeah.
When you crank it up, if you have heated seats, you turn the heated seats on, and you just...
Everything was on.
Warm at home, yeah.
I was warm in stadium, kind of. Not warm, but enough.
Yeah, right.
And you know where I parked. I was 1,000 feet away from the stadium. that wind picked up on our walk, and I'm like, oh my God. I instantly got chilled.
The way Erie's set up, it's like grid. It's a grid setup. So some of those streets going north to south, if that wind's going north to south, it's a wind tunnel that comes up the hill and just goes right up Holland. It's just a wind tunnel up Holland. So we knew it. I knew it standing in the stadium. The flags were going. It was like, oh my God, this is going to be cold.
Yeah.
It wasn't treacherous. But hey, we got fancy hats. You know, I bought Kimberly a T-shirt. It was a good time there.
Did you put your sticker on your truck?
I'm not going to put it on my truck.
Oh,
the stickers are actually, I buy them for I have like a binder thing for my work, so I put them on there. So I already had a Howling Dead sticker, but I'm going to put it on. I think I bought the Eclipse one and the Seawolf actual logo. So they're going to go on that work binder. I'll show you what it looks like. Hold on.
I made it home, took a nap, I went to work because I worked 12 to 8 all week. And, okay, yeah. I get it. I like it now.
Yeah. So at least it decorates up this plain black zipper portfolio. But, so you took a nap, went to work.
Yeah. Did work, and at some point, I took a 5-minute break. I'm like, because Mark is Mark, I have my sticker in the Jeep. So got some window cleaner, yada, 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 gussied it up and put the sticker right underneath my panther head, the pit panther head. So it looks pretty sweet now.
I was going to say that panther head, absolutely love. Yeah. So that's how I realized that wasn't how I realized it was behind you. So I saw the pit panther head. This was Thursday night, back to Thursday night.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, okay, it's just a car with the pit panther. Not clicking. Mark has a Jeep. I've seen the Jeep. I know what the Jeep looks like. It wasn't until I saw the Can Crushers side logo, I'm like, oh shit, that's Mark. And then I got right behind you, and then that's when we started noticing each other. But I was not clicking at all cylinders at that point.
Brain freeze.
Brain freeze. Literally, you had to sit there with the tongue to the roof of your mouth trying to warm up.
Licking a window doesn't get dark. So, yeah. Everything else all right, though? I mean, in 2 days?
For the most part, we had a little bit of a incident with the pups. Too much playing, not enough control around it, if you will. So, the puppies they're doing their best right now. So we're looking for options to get the puppies back in a more manageable fashion. We'll say it that way. Okay. But everybody's good. Everybody's fine. So yeah, nothing to complain about. How about you? How have you been for 2 days?
Well, I guess, essentially working, forgetting that I went to SmackDown last week, and that really, that stuck in my mind now that I'm like, what did I do last Friday? Watching drafts and just catching up, doing nothing, because as recording, it is real day that this is going to be released. Heading to Pittsburgh to cross something off my bucket list that, hey, this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool.
Yeah. I know what it is. I'm hoping it's amazing time. Hopefully it's the coolest thing you've ever done. And hopefully nothing dampers your parade about it, if you will.
I know. I'm looking at the forecast, and listen, if everybody doesn't know, calling 2 local high schools baseball game at PNC Park. I got to go in and get a media pass, get, fingerprinted. I don't know what I'm going to do. But the game's at 6. It will be on, if you're in and around our area. Hell, we do have an app. Look up WKBI 93.9. It's a DuBois Central and Clarion game that is going to be on the radio, and I'm trying to be nice about the voice, so you won't hear me yell probably that much today. Because, hey, I'll be broadcasting, and the Pirates are probably going to say, hey, do you just want to stay here and just start broadcasting the rest of the year for us? I'm thinking. That's probably going to happen.
That's exactly what's going to happen. I mean, there's nothing delusional about that whatsoever. I think that's a very plausible situation. let's take a step back here. This is almost a live episode of Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast for listeners, because as soon as this is recorded, it's getting posted.
Right. I'm leaving then too, yeah.
Yeah, you're gone, and Mark's gone. So, yeah, we're doing the most live episode you've ever seen, so it's coming up here.
Really, even prior years and everything, it really is the livest that you're going to get. So, yeah, so I'm excited about that, and then we'll see what rocks and rolls the rest of the week.
Yeah, well, that we will. Rock and rolls, huh?
So it probably will be a little shorter episode, so that's a good thing. I do want to tell you, you guys know I also have a journey coming along with just my craziness of life. I've now become a regional director for a league of some sort for baseball that I've stepped into as well, unknowingly stepping into it, which is actually something cool. As I stepped back and looked on a bucket list, I don't know where it was, but yeah, I'm in charge of 6 teams in the American Legion now in a section.
That's amazing. Look at you getting promoted.
Possibly leading into something else in a couple of years down the line. He blatantly told me I'm being groomed for something. I'm like, is being groomed for something? Sometimes I think of that as dirty. I don't know. Is that the right word? Like, being groomed in wrestling sometimes is like, oh, you're being groomed in wrestling.
It depends on the connotation, because there's people that have made that. It's very much associated with dirty activities, obviously.
Right.
But I think for the other flip side of that, it can be good too, because you're supposedly they're a parent, but it's going to depend on.
Oh, I like that even better.
You're the heir apparent, but you got to make sure you get to that point. I think a lot of people forget about that. Is when you're the heir apparent, they kind of be like, "Oh, I made it, I'm done." Sometimes that's not the case, though. You have to kind of keep grinding a little bit to keep it going. But with you got this in the bag, so I can't wait to see what you do with this.
Close to home. So,
yeah,
not like
right. You got this. You can handle this.
So excited about that, yada, yada, yada. But, yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. So let's jump into hot topics. I have a couple. Okay?
Okay.
I do. First and foremost, Vince and Nick Khan have sold everything that they have. Completely. I mean, both of them been completely out, but now they had no ties whatsoever.
Yeah, the Nick Khan piece was kind of surprising to me because he was still around. He was at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And, like, he was still there, so I thought he was still a part of the company unless something's going to come out that says he needs to be gone, essentially.
Vince, the writing was on. I mean,
Vince was
taking his money in chunks.
Essentially, because, it's his retirement plan, so he sold off a bunch of it, lived for a couple months, and sold off a bunch of it more, lived for a couple months. I don't know how extravagant his lifestyle is, but
clearly $760 million this last go round.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad it's finally over. This is officially he's out of the company type thing. He's just been selling off because I don't think I see anything else coming out that's going to be more detrimental to WWE, the brand. Could be totally wrong, and this could change in 2 hours, but
that usually happens when we say something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So the Nick Khan thing just intrigues me as to why he did, unless he's stepping away from the company because he feels like it's in a good place that he doesn't need to be there anymore.
Right.
Or he's doing in the cons down in Jacksonville. Who knows?
More on that later. And the other one, on the tails of Vince and Nick selling everything, there is pseudo rumors then Vince may open another one starting next year. No possible way.
I don't think so. if he does, I don't know. I don't think he could. I don't think people would watch.
He's going to be in court and stuff for a while.
I would agree. Maybe that's why it's next year, is because he's going to be in court this year about it. But to that point, nobody's going to watch that. He is that delusional. Well, people will watch it initially because it's like AEW. You watch it initially. AEW produced some great things after that. So there was things that could keep people around. But he's delusional if he thinks the brand of product that he brought forth is what people want to see.
Right.
Because his product, the last 10 years of his tenure, really, that's too much. I would say 5 years of his tenure, 7, was not conducive to the fans.
Yeah.
Did not make quality product at that point. I think COVID helped him because he didn't have to do it in front of live crowds and could produce something else with the monitor, with the Thunderdome and everything like that, and produce things a certain way. But really, he's not carrying it forward. It just, to me, I don't think it's going to be as appealing. People are going to watch because there's going to be big name stars that go, if their contracts are ready, that are going to go to this new federation, whatever it is.
With that being said, essentially, and these allegations and everything that's on the docket, paperwork has to kind of start being in place mid-year if he wants to kick off in like January or something like that, roundabout. I don't know if those allegations will be wrapped up, but those allegations will live on forever no matter what goes on with it, because there's been people who wants to make that jump. I'm going to throw out a name, and it's being thrown out because her contract is, close to being done. Does a Becky Lynch, does any woman want to be the first one to sign there? Just having that in the back of your mind?
No. Becky, no.
Because, I said Becky just because we always bring up her contract.
No, that's fair. We always do bring up her contract. But to your point, no woman would sign there right off the bat. The only woman, maybe sign someone like a Tessa Blanchard that just happens to be in a big... Maybe he's just starting a controversial wrestling federation, the CWF, and just pull them all in, see what happens. I mean, that could be, but I don't really see any woman being like, I want to be aligned with him.
Right.
I wouldn't be anywhere near him. And that's going to be a lot to overcome. There's going to be some people that'll take the jump, but I don't know.
There. I believe the money will still be there.
The money could be there. That's accurate. But the question is, how are they going about this?
Right.
Where do we get to the end game with it? And I don't know. It just seems so far-fetched based on where he's at right now that it would be wild if he started something new.
Plus, I'm 80. Dick. Yeah, he's old.
Mm-hmm.
If he's maybe just the money backer and he does sit to play the other end of the devil's advocate, if he just sits and him and Nick are going to do it and it's him passing something to Nick in 2 years, essentially.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll give you that, because Nick's like, dude, just give me some money for, not that Nick's going to be broke after he sold all his shares, but hey, give me a little bit of money to get this going, get me, because your notoriety with all the cable companies, yada, 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 to get us in on the door of somewhere.
Yep.
Maybe. But full-fledged, on TV, strutting out and everything like that, no, I can't imagine. This is just Warriors starting shit behind the scenes and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. I will say this. If he brings in Kevin Dunn, nobody's watching the product. For sure.
Touche.
We've recovered. My favorite videos now are the cuts, people making making different cuts, showing like, oh, if Kevin Dunn shot this, it would be like this and this and this. The whole Jey Uso going out to the parking lot thing was hilarious in that regard. But,
and I have one more, and I'm sure this is on your list. Well, two, but we'll talk about one when we talk about it, Dynasty. WWE doing some releases here.
Yeah, that was
couple caught me off guard.
Yeah, Cameron Grimes caught me off guard. The under the radar one of Von and Wagner, who I thought they were very high on at one point in time. Yeah, that was a little surprising in that. If you want to run through the list,
I was going to say Jinder, Xia Li, both members of Indashir, Zion Quinn, Von Wagner, and Cameron Grimes. Cameron was the one that caught me off guard the most. Vaughn, I don't want to say prodigy because there's a connotation to prodigy of like the next, but he was big. He had a big name. They really pushed him. Zion Quinn, okay. Indashir, the tag team Indashir, whatever, they've been up and down.
Yeah.
Jinder did a lot for WWE. That one kind of caught me too, and he's pissed about it.
Yeah, he's not happy. He's going everywhere.
Yeah. And Xia Li, listen, I think I love her. I love what she can do in the ring. I liked her more in NXT once she got brought up to the roster, and she's, I don't know, pseudo ninja, kabuki warrior / they just booked her horribly. Once she got to the main roster, she just had no backing or no idea what they were going to do with her. Probably should have sent her back down, and she would have had another great following in NXT.
Yeah.
I see a couple of them getting contracts in 89 days, let alone 90, essentially.
Right. Oh, yeah. I mean, Xia Li's going to be the first one taken off the board. I think Xia Li's got a lot more potential. She's going to get something, whether that's going back across seas or in somewhere else in the U.S. She's going to get something picked up real quick. Vaughn, I don't know if he's going to get anything. I think he was bred for WWE success. And that's the unfortunate part of that release for him. Jinder getting hindered again. Interesting. And you heard the reports that well, that was close.
What was that?
Lightning. That was lightning. Yeah.
Boy, that only trickles down to Pittsburgh, so.
Yeah. That was fun. So Jinder and Xia Li were actually well respected backstage. People loved them. People loved being around them and that. So it's kind of hard to see that. But again, I think it's more about, listen, if we don't have anything for you and we don't think you're going to be beneficial on NXT, they start trimming the fat away and start moving pieces around. I mean, Jinder and Indashir, there was only so much they were willing to do with them. They were only really willing to stick them in that pseudo foreigner tag team role. And that's a tough peg to be stuck into. Jinder did great things with The Rock just 4 months ago in one segment. So that release to me was one of the more shocking ones as well. But I think there's going to be opportunity for some of these people to get something. Maybe Jinder's Vince McMahon's first pick in that new federation. Who knows? Because to be honest, I don't know. Jinder's going to be a guy that's going to travel the Indies. I don't think he's settling anywhere else.
No, I don't either. Xia, I think, could slide right into TNA and make an impact.
Yep.
That was no pun. That just actually
literally.
Yeah. Or I want to talk about some down the line on AEW. She could go to AEW as well, but I think she gets lost in the shuffle at AEW right now with the returns, the recents, and this, that, and the other.
AEW has so much going on for it right now that for the women's division, that once it's actually set, it'll be fine. And so there's just no way the way they book and showcase the women on AEW does not lead to, let's add another lady that wasn't as high profile as some of these other signings and people that are coming in. So I could see them just not looking at even her way.
Unless it's a Megalodon signing, essentially, I think AEW in general needs to stop for a while.
But he said he wouldn't stop.
I know, he won't. I know.
He won't stop.
He'll never stop.
No, he won't. I think that's the problem with what you saw with Andrade and a lot of people that were there was they didn't stop. He just keeps bringing people in, so there's not enough room to establish your pillars, book this talent that has big names, and that Andrade could have been the world champion there if there was an opportunity and there wasn't so many people ahead of him.
Yeah. My final thing is no recent news on NCAA football. Everything's just, this is what we've learned. And I'm not talking about like college football itself. We're talking about the video game as we always do. Nothing. Everything's been hushed for the last couple of weeks because I think the beginning of May, second week of May, we're getting everything we want.
You do understand why it was hushed. They had to basically stop everything to potentially add the greatest Division I signing that they've ever had.
Took this softball and fucking ran with it, so I'm so excited.
I'm going to guess everybody in our listening audience did not hear about this, but it's everywhere in Erie. There's billboards, there's everything.
I'm sure everybody in Toronto or Collins Bluff, the second place, it's always, and I always apologize. The person in Iowa or Indiana or Idaho, those people.
Bluff. Yeah, Council Bluff.
Yeah.
So my alma mater for college, Mercer University, got added to Division I in all sports in the NEAC conference, which is apparently called the United East Conference now, which I don't know why it's still called NEAC, but whatever. I guess it was formerly known as Northeastern Athletic Conference. But yeah, they got added for Division I across the board. Basically, it's PA, Jersey, New York, maybe Delaware thrown in there for good measure. But Mercer's University, if you haven't heard from it, it's a very small school up here in Erie, Pennsylvania.
Smaller than my school.
Yeah, right. It has a great Division I hockey team.
They do.
That's been to the Frozen Four several times. We've actually hosted a Frozen Four.
Numerous, yeah.
Yeah, and so it got added. They added everything up for it. They're going to play Division I football at some point. I think it's this year as far as I know, and which will be interesting. I think it'll be very interesting to see how that plays out.
So tell me you have the NEAC and the teams pulled up right in front of you.
Yeah. The Sky Division in the Volt Division? This can't be right. There's some... you couldn't even begin. You couldn't even begin.
Oh, I couldn't name one person besides Mercy.
This is not the right division. Hold on here. Northeast Conference. This has to be. Give me a minute. My researching skills are not as good at...
Not in the morning. By the way, guys, I'll tell you, we'll cross this one off the list then. I am sitting right here. This is probably going to be my first of a couple, but I'm doing my W right now. So, guys, if you want an energy drink that is awesome, there's no calories, there's no carbonation, there's no crash, check out W because there's a ton of flavors out there. I love Beach and Peach. There's dragon fruit, there's callow cream, there's everything you need, and it keeps me going from 4 a.m. to 11, which is essentially going to change from probably 5 a.m. to midnight from now on, I guess. I don't know. Work is changing as well. But It's an amazing drink. It keeps you going all day long. You take 2 scoops, throw it in your shaker, shake the shit out of it, drink it, and you'll hear me probably throughout the podcast because I'm nipping on it right now. Get a little bit more excited. It's awesome. Check it out and then use our promo code CANCRUSHERS to save 10%. There is a sample pack out there. They give you a couple flavors. They give you a shaker. It's only about $20. You'll get 10% off that as well. So check out W for any of your energy needs and get rid of the cans and the carbonation because it ain't no good for you.
Ain't no good for you, huh?
Yeah. Thank God there's not real reads. I'm like, today, there's real reads today.
So I have, I wonder where that one's at. All right. So it's actually stems, can go as far as Illinois, all the way over to Connecticut and that. So it's a pretty big conference. There's different lists here. Full members right now. The current full members are Central Connecticut State, Harley Dickinson, who's made the tournament. Lemoyne College, Long Island University.
I only know these from basketball, by the way.
Yes, that's exactly it. Yeah, Merrimack College, Sacred Heart University, St. Francis University, Stonehill College.
St. Francis is going to be their rival then. Boom.
Yeah, probably.
It's the A team.
Yep. And then Wagner College is their active full roster. I mean, Mercier's is the future members, so. And Chicago State University is also going to be their future member. So we're fall of 2024. But okay. Do you want to guess?
No, I can't. I'm not going to guess anything because I don't know any. I've heard them from basketball, and I've actually been to St. Francis.
Well, no. What do you think the largest enrollment is of the schools? Number-wise, ballpark number, and it's under 20,000.
Well, my tops was going to be 15. Honestly.
A little more. Long Island had 16,900.
That was close enough.
Mercier's coming in at 2,700. But not the smallest. They're not the smallest. That goes to Wagner College, 1,700, which is officially smaller than one of my high schools.
Yeah. Not mine. Not really mine. That was a joke about Ridgeway, but wow.
Yeah. So it's going to be, yeah.
So let me stir the pot. I'm just stirring the pot clearly all day.
Do it.
When football comes out and they're on and we get our dynasty and everything going, you have to be them then, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm whooping that trick of Alabama for sure with Mercier's University.
Game 1, NCAA.
Game 1.
You do your schedule.
Yeah.
Mercyhurst against Alabama.
Bama, check. Pitt, check.
No. You're playing me as Pitt.
I have to. You're right. But listen, that's the rivalry game there. It's a 2-hour drive. We're right at each other.
Our game is St. Francis. They have to be on.
No, but it's going to be Pitt. I'm going to make it Pitt and get trounced every year for 20 years until I pull the immaculate upset.
I don't know how some of these other football teams are, and they're going to stay very much in their division. They'll get, hey, come to Pitt. We'll give you $3 million to come to Pitt. Yada yada yada. Go to Hawaii for a game so they can get money. And that's what these little schools, because they are going to be, they're an FCS team.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to do. Once they get in league though, I bet you they're going to be decent. I mean, how is their football team overall like right now in their Division 3?
I would say it's not anything worth writing home about because we don't talk about it. If there's talk about Mercier's, it's about their hockey team. It's not about the football team or really any sport, to be honest. I mean, there's a reason this news came out when its rival school in Erie, Gannon, went to the Elite Eight in Division 2. So there's a reason this news came out that same week, basically, because that's what they had to go off of.
It's crazy. From where they were to jumping right into Division 1. Do you think Smith is going to do something with some NIL deals with anybody there? I mean, The NIL deal
Nah.
is not going to be crazy to get to go to Mercyhurst.
Now, listen, when they are this overall 2-9 on the season last year and 1-6 in conference, there's not a lot of that night. There's not a lot of 1-star recruits that are going there.
A lot of walk-ons, eh?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of walk-ons.
A lot of B's and U's.
But hey, you now officially caught up to me. You graduated from a Division I school, so congratulations.
I did. Yep. It's feels great. It's an honor. You know, I can finally tout that.
Doesn't it?
Division I. I'm going to update the resume to say Division I, Mercyhurst University. So
that's your lead now. Not your what you've done in life.
That's my lead. I'm my lead. That's the only thing I have.
Do you have anything else before we jump in?
The one thing I will say before we jump into the things is I just read somewhere that, oh no, never mind. This is from Grayson Waller's trying to stir some shit up. Never mind. But what I will say is Tony Khan, props to selling a neck injury. Appreciate you. But don't turn your head. Come on.
He tried. We're referencing when we talk about Dynamite, you already know what we're talking about, but he popped up on the NFL draft and man, he didn't sell it at all.
At least turn
in your chair.
Body. Yeah, right. Turn the chair in the whole body, not just move your neck around and all that. When the schmucks on the Pat McAfee show are making fun of you for not selling it properly. But kudos to him, he got on NFL Network night 2 as well because of what he did at night 1.
He also called on the NFL Network. He called the WWE the Harvey Weinstein
wrestling. Yeah.
Oh, that's rough. I mean, there's shots, but then there's
low blow shots.
Yeah,
and that was a low blow shot.
Yeah, it really was.
He's off his rocker right now. I don't know.
Good thing Dad came Wednesday night.
Oh, Dad sold that.
Dad is a meme forever, by the way, now too. All right, let's do our due diligence so we can talk about Dynasty. All right?
Yeah, let's do it.
Collar and elbow, hats, hoodies, tees, all the cool stuff that Al Snow and the Hooligans have down there. Make sure you check it out. They have some awesome shirts that I live by. You know, the Dusty shirt, the Macho Man inspired shirt. There's Shad. There's Animal. People that have passed. They're amazing. Check out their quality. It's awesome. And just buy it all. And we have a promo code, right?
Yeah, I think it's like Can Crushers. And I think you can save 10% off. So yeah, enter Can Crushers, save 10% off at Collar and Elbow. Or, if you want to do that and then go to WWE for shopping, we have a link up in our show notes that takes you to our affiliate link. Not saying there's discounts involved or anything like that, but it does help out the show if you click that link and do your shopping for night 1 of the draft. If your favorite superstar got drafted to your favorite show, buy the merch.
Buy the merch. Don't forget we have merch at CrowdMade, and all you have to do is go to CrowdMade, type in Can Crushers. You'll see the hoodies, the t-shirts, the sweet tank top that we have on there. A couple different colors across the board. So go and buy them to help rep whatever indie show or main show or the NFL draft, wherever you're at. Just represent Can Crushers.
Embrace it. I like it.
Yeah. You can listen to us pretty much anywhere, right?
Yeah, like Spotify, Apple, wherever you want to go. You could also listen to us on Podurama. They have some great deals and discounts. If you go to their site now, see what you can sign up for. But yeah, listen to us on Podurama. Get the best wrestling podcast there is out there in your ear holes. And it seamlessly transitions from device to device.
Yeah, they do have a lot of cool. I use it. But I actually went to their website to kind of see if they change. They have like 3 or 4 promotions up there right now, short term, long term, and forever term, essentially. So check out the one that works for you if you're trying it or if you actually love it. And you notice something, Jenks? I know that we're on YouTube now, just audio version. So if you go to our page, like, subscribe, share, hit the bell, all those cool things, that you get for your YouTube notifications. But our YouTube algorithm has changed a little bit, and it's no shot on us or anything. The YouTube one now is coming out like a couple days after. I don't know if it's something from our hosting site that said, holy shit, we have a lot of people doing this or whatever. So if you're on YouTube, you get whatever episode, have it be a spotlight or our weekly wrap-up or whatever. It comes out a couple days after. So just to let you know, it's not all alive, essentially, anymore. But because I've been watching that. But that continues to grow for us. So if you're a YouTube listener, thank you. And do all the cool things, pass it around, do whatever you want. But just know that it's not usually out anymore the day that it comes out. Yeah, but we still love you for listening when you listen.
Yeah, exactly. So that's awesome. And we'd love you to participate if you want to participate. We have an email, cancrusher69@gmail.com. Send your questions, comments, concerns, air your grievances. It's not Festivus, but we'll take them anyways. Or you can call us. Give us a ring-a-ding-ding, 814-299-6687, and let us know what you think. 3 minutes in length, maybe not 95 calls in a row, like a serial killer. Yeah, so...
Moochie's now a serial killer.
Yeah, Moochie, well, he's at least a stalker. He's ended up in front of me. Listen, he's ended up in front of me in traffic twice I've never seen him on the road in about 8 years. And now he's been in front of me twice in traffic for in the last 2 weeks. And so now every time I see him, I flip him off.
It's the way to go.
It's baffling for him, but get out of my lane.
I'm coming through.
Yeah, get out of my lane.
Truck's coming. Like a Mack truck coming through. All right. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back, and we're going to recap Dynasty, essentially, which was AEW's last pay-per-view, and then segment 3, we'll do kind of a real quick wraparound of some things that we want to talk about in professional wrestling, and then move into what we suspect might happen with the draft, I think. Right?
Yes, agreed.
Okay, quick break. We'll be back.
Hey, this is the Barbie Killer, Haley Shadows. I absolutely hate Can Crushers, but I'm going to be on it, so stay tuned.
And welcome back, Can Crushers fans. Thanks for listening. We love you. This, that, and the other thing. It's Mark, it's Mike, and we're here. We are going to break down AEW Dynasty. Jenks, before we get into the meat and potatoes of it, because this was good. What did you think about it?
Good, excellent, great, fantastic. Pay-per-view of the year. Maybe runaway right now because this had so much going for it. So much happening. So many good things. Match of the year probably is on here. That was so good. It almost became a spectacle versus, a lot of things going on. I was thrilled with this pay-per-view.
Couple weeks ago or a month ago when it was essentially announced that it was going to be a pay-per-view, we're like, oh no, AEW is getting into the scheme of once a month. Is this going to be a throwaway one? Until a week later when we saw, and let's just call a spade, oh man, they're going to take over the show here in about 30 seconds because somebody is right against the microphone staring out the window, Max. But that's okay. When we got Danielson and Ospreay announced, we knew something was going to be it. Was this going to be the main event? Was there going to be no titles on the line? But they pulled it together, and you're right. I personally think, as of right now, this is pay-per-view of the year for me. Because of the later stuff. Some of the early stuff was tough trudging. Is that the right way? Yeah. I'm going to get all my bad shit out early. So tonight I'm fucking Johnny on the spot. But some of the stuff was, but then it did a wrestling show. It continued to climb that ladder. You're like, when you got done watching it on Sunday, though, thank God I only worked in the afternoon. I think it just needs to be all wrestling pay-per-views need to be on Saturdays anymore. As a kid, it was different, right? Maybe the parents would let you skip school, the idea. I can't take off 2 days a month, essentially, for wrestling shows. Right? You have to go in on a Monday dragging ass.
Well, that's exactly it.
Damn it, switch to Saturday PEW.
I wish they would. See, this is the problem with having Collision Saturday nights at 8, is you run into this problem. What they should be doing so that they can switch it to a Saturday night pay-per-view is put Collision on at 6, make it like a Sunday Night Heat type episode where it runs, that's your pre-show, and it runs right into your pay-per-view. I mean, that's what you need to do. If you're worried about meeting contractual deadlines with TV shows, with TV networks, make Collision a 6 o'clock show, run it into 8. 8 kicks off the main card, gets people over the pay-per-view.
That's your 0 hour.
Yep.
If you want to have matches from 6 to 7, even 7:30, and then because you can talk that whole time about matches from 6 to 7:30, and then on TBS or TNT, wherever it is that week, make 7:30 to 8 your 0 hour.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. I think that works.
It meets your contract deadlines. It does everything you need to do. But again, it also then extends people in getting in the building and all of that stuff too. So you play the line, you toe the line. But I agree with you. Wrestling pay-per-views need to be on Saturday. Most of your fans got 9 to 5s, and they're going to be, or 4 to 11s, 5 to 1s,
whatever.
You know what I mean? So you have to be cognizant of that too, and try to accommodate the fans as much as possible.
Yeah.
So.
And I know it's probably not good. I was actually in my brain all week. I'm like, why can't Collision be on Sundays? Well, because for maybe 20 weeks a year, we didn't touch on this in the opening segment, maybe 28 weeks a year, the Sunday Night Football. But if Collision's on a Sunday, I wouldn't hate that either.
True. Then you could watch both,
20
I
weeks
guess.
a year is a big
big deal. Well, it's a big to-do. And to that point, that's probably... Yeah. No, you're right on that. I was going to make another point, but that doesn't make any sense. So, but the 20 weeks a year, you're actually right. You're losing to Sunday Night Football. Guaranteed. Because that's the struggle they're running into on Monday nights with Raw, is as soon as football comes on, you've lost.
Cut in half.
Yeah.
You're definitely cut in half. By the way, NFL is proposing to make it an 18-week season, 18-game season, with both teams getting 2 buys, essentially, getting it only to 2 preseason games, which I'm all right with that. I really am. But then the whole year is 20 weeks, pushes back the Super Bowl to, I was going to say Father's Day. Definitely not Father's Day. That's in June.
Wow.
They have off from January until June to play the Super Bowl. But they want to have it over President's Day weekend. So, because most people, except Burrow employees and a lot of other people.
And me.
And you.
Your insurance.
And your insurance people. I don't know if a lot of people get President's Day off. So I don't know the push is going to be good to push it back. I'm all right for the NFL. But it really isn't a holiday that people get off work. Kids get off school, but...
Yeah, it's technically supposed to be a federal holiday, so your federal employees get off, but nobody else is getting off.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, we don't...
We can keep talking about it, but...
federal enough, but we're not, and we still don't get off. It's not even... I try to bring it up in our contract talks, and it just doesn't happen. I've also tried to get Cinco de Mayo off so we can cover my aspect being Martinez, and they really laughed at me about that. So I said, how about St. Patrick's Day? Because maybe it's broader, and they're like, you're really going fucking down the wrong path.
And that's when you say, I think I'm going down the appropriate path here.
Right. I think we should have a paid day off monthly, but they just don't agree with that either. a lot of contract coming up this year. So, all right, AEW Dynasty is on the docket to talk about, though. How much of 0 Hour did you watch?
I watched a little bit of it. I definitely watched the Acclaimed versus Bullet Club Gold. Again, you texted me and like Sunday night, I'm like, I thought it started at 7. So I obviously did not catch it until like after 7, but I saw the Trios Championship match, winner take all.
It was, like I said, I don't know if they're changing this. And Can Crushers fans honestly tell me, I don't know if they're changing this 0 Hour on Saturday night to let us know that it's starting at 6:30 or when.
Yeah.
But boom, it was on. I turned it on, but I was doing some stuff. I didn't really watch Trent and Seidel, but I still don't understand why Trent and Seidel were going at it when Trent just beat the shit out of Orange Cassidy. Shouldn't it have been an orange match?
I would have thought, but apparently they're dragging this out. So, and they just wanted the shot of them looking at each other, the ships sailing, ships passing in the wind, waves or something, whatever that expression is.
Right.
You would think they would want that match. Like, that's your kickoff, but apparently they don't want to blow that off until Double or Nothing. I think is where they're,
clearly.
But they're quick to rush a parking lot brawl with Chuck and Trent.
Right.
Which, that doesn't make any sense to me either.
I guess Chuck's not cleared yet, but he can fight in a parking lot.
Yeah.
Right. Trent went back. Trent does get the win. Then we get Orange and Shibata against Taylor Enterprises, and this wasn't really even a match, I don't think.
No. That's what the highlights I've seen, yeah.
Yeah. The Acclaimed against Bullet Club. Winner gets all titles. Let's start here. Max Caster has been off his game for almost a year.
Yeah.
Until tonight. Holy fucking mic drop.
He went for it. He fucking went for it. He's been off since they became face because he's had to curtail it a little bit. But man, he fucking went for Jay White in this whole thing.
And again, this was on the pre-show.
Yeah.
So again, it's open to public to watch on YouTube, this and that and the other thing. Sucking balls and sucking dick and taking it here, taking it. I'm like, this is usually not Max recently.
No. Max is pushing the envelope again. And I'm wondering when are we getting the Acclaimed heel turn or are we getting Max Caster turning?
Either or.
I don't know. Yeah.
I almost think it's time for the Acclaimed to go bye-bye.
I think so too. I think they've outgrown the tag team world. They hit their stride.
Be a faction maybe, but have that, if we need to be together, we can be together, but let's kind of see what we can do on our, I think Bowens is going to get lost in the shuffle.
I think Bones is going to get lost in the shuffle, but I think they split because I think Caster's going to become the main player out of the two. Caster got the talking ability. I mean, Bones has got some charisma to him in that whatsoever, but Caster's doing the raps. He's doing the wrestling. He can do a lot of things. Bones is kind of like, okay, I'm there. I can be loud. I can be boisterous, but there's nothing really behind that chip per se. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how they kind of split that up and break down
Sean Marty. We're going to get a Sean Marty experience between these two?
Maybe. Wouldn't that be something?
And they never talk the rest of their lives again?
Yeah. And to that point, that could be happening now. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, they're just done with what they're wanting, what they want out of wrestling in that. They want to move on.
Yeah. Listen, I hated them. I loved them. And now they're just getting old. So a little bit of a spin, but this was the right thing, I think, to get the titles off of them. And I hope they are truly unified that when we've been saying since both 6-man championships were around, two companies, ROH being, and I'm not knocking it, being smaller than what AEW is, I don't think you needed two, because you were wrapping up essentially 6 people in makeshifting teams to get into this 6-man title across the board. One across, good. Get new titles though, Tony. I don't want them. I don't want them carrying around 2 titles apiece. If it's unified, do whatever. So I imagine that happens soon. If it didn't on ROH already.
Yeah. Well, my thought is it just becomes the AEW banner. You can take them more to whatever show you need them, but yeah, I never understood the need or want for the 2 titles. I think it was just something that they threw together and said, hey, we can get people like the 6-man titles, so let's put them both in there. But those titles have been cursed since they first were the first inception of them.
They really have. They really have. This just turns out to be a goddamn brawl, essentially.
Yeah.
There was
anybody doing
there was no rules in this match.
No,
and I didn't know it was a no DQ match. But I think it's right because both teams have kind of fallen off a little bit, even before they started this rivalry and they were friends for a while. I think the Bang Bang Gang needs them a little bit more.
Yeah.
Since Jay and MJF, man, Jay has fallen. The Guns have fallen. Max is only the real winner out of this, maybe excelling himself a little bit just because of his mic skills.
Well, that's exactly it. But that also proves that mic skills get you a lot farther in the game than anything else.
Yeah. Then we get to the main show, essentially. And it's the Continental Classic Championship. They change this every week. It's the Continental Classic Championship. It's just the Continental Championship. And I know that it's only moving a word, but whatever. Let's fucking go right off the bat, though, between Okada and Pac. I miss Pac when we don't get him.
Yeah.
I forget about him when he's not there, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because he's one of those players where you know he's a reliable hand. You love him when you see him. But when you don't see him, what he does is memorable in the ring, but you don't get anything else out of him. So you're not missing him like we long for our MJF to come back.
Right.
Pac is one of those guys where you see him, it's all go, it's great, it's fantastic, he can carry his own, but doesn't do anything memorable with the mic or anything to kind of reestablish a legacy. And it could be because he's gone too often.
Yeah.
He's just gone too often. We're just like, oh my God, he's back. And then we're like, well, he's gone again. So thanks for coming. But
yeah. This was, in the top 5 for about 2 hours. This was a great match. This was fucking awesome. Now I'll ask you, Okada retains, and we'll get to, some of the moves and everything if you want to talk about them. Did we get a double turn in this match? Now, let me pause you because I know you're ready. Okada hasn't aligned himself with the Elite. Okay, we understand that. But everybody was on Okada. Okada was a face being with Elite, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But he essentially told the crowd to fuck off in the middle of the match.
Right.
And Pac's always been a bastard. Nobody is liked, with my air quotes, Pac. He's always been a bastard. He's been a heel. I think mid-match, it just switched that nobody gives a shit that Okada's here. And I don't mean like that, because for his wrestling and everything, nobody gives a shit that Okada's here and aligned with the Elite. They want the title on Pac all of a sudden. Boom. Like, it happened naturally, great, and awesomely. Yeah, I want Pac to beat Okada now. I want Pac to beat Okada Sunday night. I was all on, because Okada doesn't need this title first and foremost. But I think this was great because of that. The match was amazing. The story within the match was awesome as well.
Mm-hmm. No, I completely agree. I think to your point, it's when you betray the fans with the Rainmaker pose, get ready to do it, and then all of a sudden you flip them off. Lights out. They instantly turned on Okada, whether it was made to or not, or they thought they were going to get that kind of reaction from them. I have no idea, but it was quick as a hiccup. And then they were celebrating Pac after the match when he was done, when it was trying to roll out of the ring. It's one of those things where they may not have intentionally meant to do it, but maybe Okada, it happened. Maybe the company didn't intentionally mean to do it, but maybe Okada recognized, I got to do something to make them hate me instead of cheer me. And that might speak to the level of professional he is, because he noticed that and he's like, okay, what can I do that'll get instant hate? That spot.
It worked.
It worked tremendously. People are going to respect his work, but they know now to hate him for what his actions he's taking.
Yeah, he's got his flowers from since he joined AEW full time. Everybody's like, oh, God is here, God is here. Everybody was so excited. And I think he was riding that for a while. Yeah. Even winning the Continental Classic from Eddie, everybody was still pumped. They were still just on that high of him being here and da-da-da-da-da. They had to do something. And it was, I think it was perfect. I think so much more to come from Okada. And we knew that.
Yeah.
But I think the real winner of this match, on paper, not W's and L's,
right, was
Pac.
Oh, 100%. Pac got a marquee match kicking off the show, and he made it was $1 million. And it was one of those reminders of how good Pac truly is in the ring and how he can hold his own with even the best in the world, like an Okada.
Can he extend his stay a little bit longer, though? That's all I'm saying.
No, that's the toughest thing is, can we get more than 3 months here, 3 months there, 3 months here? You know what I mean? But that's, I think, maybe what makes it even more special.
He really is.
He's a family man. He wants to be with his family, but I think that's what makes it even more special. It's when we get him, we get him.
Yeah.
So
no long-term feuds with him, just quick, awesome matches. So yeah. Remember when we said there was a couple matches? No disregard to them. These next two matches for me were just, they were good. But
they weren't great.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Copeland, Briscoe, and Kingston against the House of Black. Fuck, I don't even know why they put a ring up for this match, essentially. Because
they were everywhere.
It just turned out to, again, it was not supposed to be a no DQ match or a Falls Count Anywhere match, and the pin happened in the ring, but it just wasn't in the ring for more than 3 minutes at a time. And then everybody's going everywhere.
Yeah. Well, and then they were introducing chairs to jump off of. Briscoe jumping off the apron from a fucking chair, which was great, but at the same time, it was also like, what the fuck is this match? What am I supposed to be watching here?
Yeah, it was Darby Allin-esque, essentially.
It was. Am I supposed to be watching a car wreck, or am I supposed to be watching a trios match? What do I need to watch here? So I think they just went for brawl out and hope for the best. That's essentially what throw fists, and then let's get to the ending that we want, which is Malachi and Edge, Copeland going back and forth. Which I thought that was great that he got the pin over Copeland.
Is that alluding to something at Double or Nothing?
I'm hoping he gets the title off of him.
Yeah.
Because I think that would be obviously great for Malachi, but at the same time, it's like, okay, does Edge finally get a really good match besides what he's done with Christian? And I know he's helped out a lot of people, but is this something to bring Edge even further out of his shell? Bring him more back and say, I'm back, I'm here, I'm going to fight. And does it help put Black over even further? That's going to be the key I'm trying to figure out with that is, will Double or Nothing, will this whole thing set out Malachi up for something good, or is it going to be more detrimental than anything? Are we hyping it up because of the chaos that ensued in this match?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a normal match when they meet at Double or Nothing, by the way.
Oh, God. That's fair.
This would be probably in the spectacle realm of Can Crushers.
I could see that. Yep, I could see that definitely.
Because there's so many components as well of people. We haven't had a cage match in how long in AEW?
Long. Yeah. That could be a cage match.
To keep the rest of them out and Briscoe and Kingston out, yada, yada, yada. I'm ready for it, though. And I think this is the perfect person for Copeland to drop it to. We've said it for months now. When he does get this title, it's not going to be a long reign. I'm actually shocked it's going to be a maybe 2.5 month reign within itself.
Yeah.
But I think that sets it up for him. And I think it's the right person. I really do. You know how much we love House of Black on here. But I think it's the right person to take it off of Edge, Copeland, whatever we're calling him. Listen, we're throwing names out the window anymore. We don't care. You guys know what we're talking about. I think it's the right person to elevate that TNT title going down the line. You're getting a name on it with Edge again after it's run a gamut of it has been. And I'm not saying anything Christian did anything wrong. Right. But I still don't think that feud is over. Essentially,
no.
I think once he comes back, shit stirs again.
I could see that wholeheartedly. I think with the Copeland and that, you're right. It's more with the TNT title, with Christian and Copeland. It's been more about getting the name recognition on the title to build the prestige versus actually building up the younger stars now. So we're resetting the clock with that one. I think Malachi comes in and takes over as the heir apparent here to kind of drive it forward even further. So, and to your point about Christian and Copeland, it's far from over, but it's always going to be far from over.
Right.
They're always going to be passing each other, and it's going to be a continuation throughout both their times there.
So does the Black Mist stirring it again? Does the Black Mist do anything to Copeland? He took it full.
He did. I'm hoping so. I'm hoping he develops black eyeliner around his eyes again, like everybody else like seemingly gets the Black Mist. I think it'll be cool to see him maybe turn more of a heel or more ruthless, if you will, in his attack, dastardly in his attacks coming forward. I think that's going to be the play here, but we'll have to see if they actually go down that route with him or have him shake off the effects.
This could be win it at Double or Nothing for Black after another missed shot. Copeland's gone for a week off of TV, maybe 2 weeks, and then we find out he joins. I don't know. I think Copeland needs to be with somebody all of a sudden.
I could see that. What an interesting turn if we get House of Black, and maybe it's in the vein of what Edge was hoping for with Judgment Day.
Yeah. Exactly where I was going.
Yep.
Exactly. We get the TBS title match, and listen, this was given away 2 weeks prior to who was winning it, yada, yada, yada. Man, the House Rules match was stat, and Sky was banned from ringside. I need more from a House Rules match. You know, I need more from Willow picking that, because she didn't give herself an advantage. You know, you want to give yourself an advantage with this House Rules that you get to pick as the challenger. So you took Sky out, but you also took Statlander out. So it essentially was just a one-on-one match for the title.
With the 20 crowd,
Yeah, which
20 crowd.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, we both knew what was going to happen. If we were going to do predictions, because we didn't do predictions last week because we weren't here, yada, 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 we were both picking Willow anyway.
Yeah. Oh, sure. 100%. Yeah, 100%. Well, the bad part of this match, everything you said, but also the highlights of this match was not the women in the ring trying to deliver this. It was Taz and Stokely chirping on the mic back at each other.
Yeah.
Because I was distracted by that. I was laughing at what they were going on there. But these two for some reason this match just didn't hit its stride, and I think it's because it was so short in length that they just couldn't. They had 8 minutes, and they're both young in the game, that it's like, well, how do we tell an efficient story in 8 minutes when we're losing 2 elements of it plus time? You know what I mean? How do you make that work? The thing with house rules matches is the rules of the house, besides the one that can be introduced by the opponents, they never get utilized, or they never get showcased in that match. Like, they're not going to a 19 count outside,
Right.
or acknowledging a 19 count on the outside, and then they're getting back in. Or they're not going to, I think one of them is the rope break. There's no rope break. So they're not utilizing that or leveraging that. Tell that story in the match. I'm not saying tell it every match, but just tell that story at some point in some of these matches when you're going to have house rules about it. I think it really helps the story along, but helps solidify that match as something unique or special. It's just putting a different framework on it that nobody's taking advantage of, essentially.
So the match was this match, essentially. We know Willow's going on to take on Monet in Double or Nothing. Is that going to be Monet's first match?
I think so.
Well, let me wrap back around to that. Question for you. Where's Julia go now? Because it kind of scares me.
Yeah, I don't know. I like that they did the angle with Brody and said, okay, time to go back to work. You know what I mean? Like, just make that reset happen. With Julie, I think she's just, because of how young she is in the game, it's going to be, she's floating around or making, she already has the presence right now. Right. So she can pop up and have matches with anybody, essentially, out of nowhere. And it'll be legitimately high matches. I think eventually she'll get back to the TBS title, have another reign with that. But then it's, how do we grow that? How do we grow past that? I think the future's undecided. Right now it's more about, okay, you're not under the learning tree apparently, but you're under a learning tree that, yeah, I know. But you're under a learning tree that can help get you to where you need to go, and they're playing it right in the storyline of, we'll train you, we'll get you where it comes next, and get you brought up. She's out of the picture for at least 2 months for the TBS title. Probably more. But there's a lot of one-offs that can happen, and that can occur.
I think she'll be fine as long as she's not essentially a loss to Britt as soon as she comes back, a loss to Jamie as soon as she comes back, a loss to...
It's not a Peter.
As long as she's not going to continue to take losses on the regular.
My thought is she should be gone until Double or Nothing. Monet wins the title, then you come out and you call your shot at Monet. That would make sense. Give her time to recuperate. Even if she probably would lose the Monet in a subsequent match, that at least gives a little bit more aura. Gives her strong
look.
Yes.
Monet comes out. They have their already stare down for Double or Nothing. Let's talk about Monet a little bit. We always said this is going to be a shorter one, but of course, then we go down rabbit holes.
Yep.
If she doesn't do anything, I know we just said that her first match is probably going to be a Double or Nothing. Man, I don't know. I love Sasha / Mercedes. I do. Nothing is drawing me to say I can't wait to watch this match right now, though. I'm not buying Double or Nothing for Monet and Willow.
No, because we've seen it before. All it's doing is giving Monet her win she couldn't get in the New Japan Strong tournament. This is literally what this match is.
Yeah.
So, for us, I think, maybe I'm not speaking out of turn here, but I think it comes down to they're literally just putting us through the ringer. We can't get excited for this match because we already know what the outcome is, because they're correcting a wrong Sasha feel she had, or Mercedes feel she had. Which sucks, because if we're going to play this game throughout this whole run, it's going to be a long-ass run.
It is. It is. So let me make reference to somebody else then. Saraya. We've talked about maybe when and this was 6 months ago, maybe when she comes over, is this kind of her first match or something? How long before Mercedes ends up like Saraya? I don't know if the AEW fans, we are wrestling fans, and there's AEW fans, there's WWE fans, there's wrestling fans. How long before Mercedes relegated to what Saraya is doing? Saraya had a title. She had the title. Mm-hmm. Now she's backstage. When was the last time you've seen one of her matches?
Right. No, that's fair.
Was this pissing money away? As of right now, for me, yes.
Well, yeah, because it's not doing anything. There's nothing of substance coming out of this. No. And it's not that she wants to move the needle. It doesn't feel like. Like, it just feels like we're biding time, in her own words, until she goes back to the flagship.
Yeah.
And I mean, to that point, if I'm Tony Khan, if that's your end game, I can use you for how long I have you, but at what point do you stop caring and wanting to contribute to the brand? And at what point does it become detrimental? I think for Saraya, it's more about, she had been out of the ring for so long. She got her one and done title reign type thing. But she's still very much an injury concern risk and all of that stuff. So it might be more beneficial to have her just run in the backstage area, have a match here or there, because she's not coaching, but she's just not at the level she used to be. And that's fair. I mean, that happens with neck injuries and all of that stuff. So I think now being the coach and all of that stuff, is that something Mercedes is willing to do, or is Mercedes only willing to look out for herself? God above may not agree with that, but we'll have to see with what, because I don't know if you heard that thunder, but it's one of those things where we have to see what Monet is trying to get out of this run versus what I hope she's there to wrestle and have fun and take on these new exciting and have these bangers and that. Because I don't think right now, I don't know if she understands that, okay, you signed this contract. It may be 3 years long. You have to show up. Show up and show out. You have to wrestle. You have to build your stock. Because when the time comes and you want to go back to Papa H in the ship, they'll take you on name brand alone, but you're not going to get what you wanted out of it because they're going to see you and be like, well, you didn't really do much in the last 3 years. Cody in 6 years hustled, went around the world, wrestled at every company he could, created his own company, didn't take advantage of his own company when he was in it, and just held TNT titles and that and whatnot. Built back up his stock to be a American Nightmare desirable get. Sasha's left on bad terms. She's probably already had conversations with Papa H to come back, but at the end of the day, if you're not showing up and showing out because you signed this big money contract with AEW, there's no point. There's literally no point.
Agreed. International title match prior to this. Just to throw this out, this is another thing I said in kind of hot topics. Fucking Wardlow's in a wreck hours before Dynasty.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, the vehicle looked rough.
That looked horrible. That looked really bad. I'm glad he was okay, but Jesus Christ. That also made me think that he was going to have more going on in this match, but really just couldn't do it because he was probably so shooken up, didn't know what the hell was going on, but...
And I saw it earlier, prior to Dynasty, that he was in a wreck. So I figured, well, that he's off the card. But when he comes out and he wasn't fully in the ring, he wasn't fully on the steps, he just peaked, and I'm like, oh, I worried. And we don't know yet. But maybe there's
he was
something.
In the wreck. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh man, this sucks. But well wishes, Wardlow. We love you. Hope everything is fine. The match itself, can I tell you it was a good match? But I didn't care because I saw it a lot. I love Kyle. Yeah. I love Kyle. Besides Adam, okay, besides Adam Cole of the Undisputed Era in NXT, yada, yada, Kyle's always been my second that I've always went. I've never been a Roddy guy. The Kingdom, I think, is overly stale. Overly stale right now. As on paper, great technical match. It was a good match. There just isn't anything there for me to put on a plate and eat.
Yeah. No, there isn't. There's nothing. I think with the injury, Adam Cole's injury, extension of his injury, which is now apparently over because he can walk by miracle. He walked. I think that hurt them building up what this could be. I think also misutilizing Wardlow somehow.
Not just today.
Just not today, but just
overall.
Overall, but then the mishandling of Wardlow when he went for the AEW title, and then instantly dismissing him. That I think was just kind of weird. I feel like they could have extended that out a little bit more to make it more reasonable, keep it less stale. But in doing that, they kind of just shot themselves in the foot. So the Kingdom has no purpose right now besides showing up and being Roddy's lackeys for the title, which is exactly what they are.
The ROH Tag Team Champions lose consistently.
They do. I'm surprised they win Proving Ground matches at this point. So I don't know what exactly I'm supposed to get excited by with the Kingdom. I don't. I think the only thing that came out of this match was Adam Cole giving Wardlow dirty looks at the end.
Yep. Honestly, that's exactly what I have pseudo written down.
Yeah.
This was to start Adam and Wardlow. Clearly double or nothing.
Double or nothing. Get him kicked out of the group, and then probably Adam has a stare down with Swerve at the end of Double or Nothing.
And Wardlow's relegated again to
whatever.
Archer and Hobbs.
Yeah.
No disrespect, but yeah.
Well, that's exactly it. Any big man in the business, except The Undertaker, really, and maybe Kane, is just relegated to losses. You're there to put over smaller talent. And you'll get a couple onesie-twosies, cheap wins, and then you'll get the loss.
Yeah. You'll beat Andrade, you'll beat Cheeseburger, you'll beat this, you'll beat that.
When it comes to facing somebody, it's too much of the David versus Goliath mentality.
Yep.
Goliath needs to dominate some people to be relevant.
Yeah.
Give Hobbs, give Wardlow, give Archer wins.
I can't.
I
give behind Hobbs or Wardlow.
Well, I'm going to go back though. Now Archer, it's not going to happen. But when I'm talking, when Archer first came in, he should have ran the gambit on people. Yeah. He should have gotten a TNT title, or he should have gotten a world title, at least something to or just have him beat people left and right for months and get him stood up. But we get so many of these false starts and stops and all of that it's detrimental to these guys.
Really,
they can't build.
FTW match.
This can
go to hell.
Just go fuck it. Fuck this match. Why? I literally wrote, why did he need to win this ego stroke? Why did he need this ego stroke?
As soon as I saw his blurb attempting to get, 26, 97 different titles in the fucking world,
yeah.
I knew he was winning.
I just was hopeful. I was like, maybe they'll let Hook win this and then be done with it. Nope. God forbid.
The crowd fucking hated it. Well,
yeah.
This match, and I don't remember the stars from Meltzer, but this match, maybe by a quarter or a half or whatever, got more than the TBS title match. Mm-hmm. And that's blasphemy for me. If I've ever used it correctly. This match was nothing but shitting in the ring enrolling in it.
Yeah. With FTW written on every goddamn thing that was introduced into the match.
Yeah.
I have to think that was Jericho's idea.
Oh, of course it was.
Because every other FTW title match we've had, nobody's written FTW on it.
Cans or
anything.
Fucking kendo stick. No.
Yeah.
This fucking sucked.
This blew. We love the pay-per-view, but this blew. This was the lowest point of the pay-per-view.
Yeah, I don't even know if it was a quarter of a beer match for me. Just because of the negativity around it. I'm not a Hook fan, first and foremost. And for what Jericho did for the business, I respect. But what he's doing now for himself in the business, this is fucking stupid.
He's taking advantage.
And Tony's dumb for allowing it.
Well, it goes back to Punk's comments. It needs a boss. You have to check these guys. They can't be the bookers, creative. They can't be creative bookers and wrestle at the same time. Danielson's proving, okay, that's the exception because he's putting people over. He's giving people the opportunities. He's putting them over. Jericho's not doing that.
Danielson can also still wrestle.
That's true. That's 100% accurate. Danielson understands the wrestling aspects, the ins and outs. He can still put it in the ring. Jericho can't. Jericho could barely keep up with anybody last year. That's why he was overrated for me last year. Now he's just pissing me off. Just showing up.
And I don't think it's story trying to piss. This is supposed to be a story of trying to piss us off. No, this is just him.
Ego stroking. Yeah. But that's exactly it. He's just being Ryback, but also he's just stroking his own ego. It's a blatantly obvious, I have a pin over Hook because Hook only has 2 losses right now.
Yeah.
That's what that was. Jericho should have been losing this match like he lost a couple weeks ago, and it'd be done with that. You could still do the learning tree.
Yeah.
You could introduce
There could have been learning moments in this match.
Yes. Big Bill would have still came out Wednesday night and been your lackey. But, yeah.
Women's title match. Toni Storm against Thunder Rosa. Nigel is now on commentary because Taz had to go take care of Hook, yada, yada, yada. Holy fuck, was Nigel just in the back watching the Disney Channel? Did you get all the references? Why was Nigel just talking about Disney movies the whole fucking match?
He either didn't know who Thunder Rosa was, or he just really made a bet with somebody. Said, listen how many fucking Disney references I can make in this match. It was bad.
The only one, did he get Let It Go? Did he not get Frozen in? That's maybe the only one. He ran the gamut from, he definitely got Moana. He got the one with Bruno. Was it called Bruno?
No, it was called Encanto. Yeah.
Yeah. That he went back to, Mickey Mouse's first one with his Fantasia or whatever.
Yeah.
He got them all in except, I think, Frozen.
Well, he couldn't let it go.
Thank you. Couldn't let it go. This was a match. I don't know if it did what it needed to do or if it didn't do what it needed to do. It was good. I love Tony and Thunder. It was a match. I don't know where the story is going now.
I enjoyed the match because I thought it did. I think it did what it needed to do. I think it was to get Thunder a title shot against Tony and basically settle who would win. But yeah, because she never got the rematch, but she also gave the title basically to Tony at that point without losing it to her. So I think it was just to settle that kind of who would be the better woman in that regard. I think they did phenomenal with what they were given in that. Maybe it was biased because of the FTW stuff that it kind of carried over and elevated this one more. And I don't know, maybe in your case, it maybe soured it a little bit more because this was just one of those things where it was a good match. I think it did what it needed to do. It gave the right return. It gave not the right returns, but it gave the right story to be told for what this is. I think also what didn't help it was the returns we thought were happening did not happen.
Maybe that's where I'm stuck, sitting here, thinking that a Jamie or a Britt would have come out at the end just to do the stare down or whatever. Maybe.
Well, and then they were like at the top of they were dragging it on at the top of the stage. And it made me think, oh, maybe we're going to get something. Maybe this is where it's going to happen. And then it never happened. And I'm like, I literally put no return as wild.
Yeah. It was a good match. It was definitely, I love and respect both of them. I do.
I think it ended up being the palate cleanser to the end of the pay-per-view because they had to find a way to get the bad taste out of people's mouths with what just happened in the FTW title match.
Touche. Because the next three matches,
oh boy,
I would have paid triple, quadruple for everything to happen. This is where the pay-per-view, listen, we just talked about good matches, bad matches, This is where the pay-per-view fucking starts. This is where the pay-per-view ends for me as well. And I'm not saying anything bad about the ladder match or the AEW title match. This was your first match you announced, and I know we always say championship matches should be last, When this is a dream match, and this is more than any... Listen, we can't break down this match. And not that we're breaking down matches, so to say, about drivers, this and but...
Yeah, agreed.
I'm starting to get the feels already, it's playing in my head again.
I watched it since, and it's like, how the story, the layers, everything in between, adding in the subtle hints, the talking points, like they built it into beautiful. The one that stands out to me is that Danielson made a point to say he's not as fast or agile as Ospreay, and at the end of the match, that's what it came down to.
Yeah,
both guys, he got into a situation he did not want to get into, and he was screwed. And that was just one example of the beautiful layer upon layer upon layer that they had going for it. Outstanding. I wrote in my notes, this match of the year, maybe of the past 5 years.
Without a doubt.
Could be more.
Yeah.
It surpassed the hype we put on it.
I'm speechless yet. Yeah. It did everything. I don't know. We could fantasy book right now. Well, you could bring Steamboat and Savage back, and I don't know. Be prepared. This is now my match to show people that have never watched wrestling to watch wrestling. That was Steamboat Savage.
Yeah.
This was Brett Owen. It's on that level.
Yeah.
It surpassed that level in some parts.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't need it. There's layers of stories just in the match. Yeah. But there's layers of stories in the career. This isn't the last time they're going to meet. Let's just throw that out there. But I think it's the Acclaimed and Swerve and Lee thing that, like, the first one is the best one.
That's fun.
I'm not knocking that it won't be close to Match of the Year when they meet again at Forbidden Door or at World's End or wherever they meet again this year. Or All In, All Out or whatever. But I don't think they can do anything better than this fucking match.
And that's the trap we fall into. Because we say they can't. And then they do. And if there's two guys in the world... Yeah, if there's two guys in the world that could do that, it's these two.
Yeah.
AEW has the 4 professional wrestlers right now that could surpass their previous matches by building upon them appropriately. Danielson, Ospreay, Okada, and Omega.
Yeah.
Those 4 guys can do that. And they do it every time they step into the ring. The one quote I wanted to call out from this match, from Callis, it's time to beat him, not get an autograph from him, was one of the best, coldest lines I've heard. Yeah. Like, Callis pisses me off, but that was a great, cold-ass, hard line. He does piss me off in a good way. That was a great line.
Yeah.
Because it showcased his frustration with Ospreay, being starstruck while in the match, kind of hinting towards an eventual break-off from the Callis family. It added even more to it. It foresaw future breaks or future things coming forward.
The thing, the Callis family in general, just with it, isn't long in the tooth because Ospreay is already the member.
Yeah.
Fletcher has also outgrown the Callis family as well.
Agreed. 100%. Fletcher's outgrown it. Takeshita, I think, has outgrown it. It was on the borderline of outgrowing it.
I think it's going to be Hobbs. Nothing against
Hobbs. Hobbs gets screwed again.
Yeah. We go back to the book.
Yeah.
He's got a long fucking story. I don't know when his story is ever going to begin or finish.
But he's in the prelude of his story.
Really is. The notes. Hey, this is going to be a great career once we get to it. make reference, and if this is story, it hook, line, and sinkered the way it ended with the storm driver. Like, we texted each other at the same time. I sent, you sent, it came at the same fucking time that I hit send. That storm driver is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Will said during the press conference, I didn't watch the press conference right after, by the way.
Yeah.
Next day. He admits he didn't see the doctor. He is not going to use it again. Yada, yada, yada. I really thought Danielson broke his neck, his shoulder, anything from his belly button up. If it's story, man, you guys did great. If not, and it was legit, I think it was more legit because Ospreay clearly was very emotional. I'm not going to say he was crying, to put it that way, but I think he was, in my heart of hearts, I think he had tears talking to Danielson backstage after this. He felt horrible. Like, Danielson's his boy. If it's layers and we're getting sucked into it for later on down the line, chef's kiss. If it's real, Danielson, I'm glad that you're okay. Words have come out that he's okay. Perfect. Everything about this match, I'm telling you, is perfect. I can't gush enough about this match.
I'm going to be that guy. This is all the work, and we're eating it up because the way Danielson sold it to the way Ospreay was selling it afterwards, the line in the press conference, I'm not using it anymore, that's the end of your next match. Because it's going to become, he didn't execute that move, he's not going to be able to put away Danielson. Until he executes that move, that's how he puts away Danielson. So that's going to be the layer that's added into this. And I think it's going to say, so I could see Ospreay Danielson 2 at Forbidden Door for a title, which is coming up later. We'll talk about that later on. And then 3 is in London, and we're doing it again. I think this becomes
wins with the storm driver in number 3.
Oh, see, I was saying, so my thought was, we're going to avoid using it in match 2. Ospreay loses match 2 because of that. Match 3, he doesn't want to do it, but he does it anyways to end Danielson's career, full-time career, and just bookends it. So it's almost like that Sean and Rick moment.
Yeah.
I love you.
I like yours better. I like yours better. Yeah.
But man, layers upon layers.
Tempts it in match 2, but doesn't hit it.
He might hit it. He might hit it if Osprey struggles with it, Daniel counters out, or he pushes, or goes for something else, Danielson counters into it, hits it, and then hits the Psycho knee and ends it. That's the crux of match 2. Match 3 is now everything's on the wall.
I'm ready. This is, by the way, storyline of the year already, if that's what we're going for. Throwing everything to these two for the year, they're going to be walking out with Crushies.
Yeah.
Not moving on, but we have to a fucking pure craziness, which was contained essentially to great craziness, the tag team ladder match, the Bucks and FTR. I did know who was going to win, essentially. Not that they told me. AEW didn't call me. But they made reference to the records of both teams meeting, da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, well, we can't have it 3-1.
Right. There's no way.
Right. It's not going to be that overshadowed. We're not going to a 7 series with these two. We will go to 5. So we had to make it 2-2. As soon as they brought that up, I'm like, well, I would have picked the Bucks, just throwing it out anyway.
Right.
It's still, I didn't know who was going to win. You know, as I sit back as a fan, as a Mark, and just watch this. What? So before we get to the craziness of pseudo end, I loved everything about this. This is tag team match of the year so far for me.
It really is. This was, and the spots throughout the match were what needed to happen at that point in time. They're perfectly placed. They pushed it over. This is the best of their 4.
Yes.
Right now. And that's because they did a little bit of layering with it. I know what I want for match 5.
The spike shoe?
No. Well, that can happen, but I want it to be a dog collar match. Because then, listen, this was the Bucks match that FTR stepped into and lost. Dog collar match is FTR's match because it grounds the Bucks, and the Bucks can't get away from it.
Yep.
It's a perfect comeuppance type thing with it, whether it's with the titles or not. I think it's just the perfect circle of comeuppance for them. And it makes the transition, it makes it worthwhile. But I also think it puts us in a situation where we may get 7 out of it.
There's a possibility.
FTR is here for another year and a half. So, at least. So there's that possibility as well of maybe we get 7 out of these 2. But the match itself, fuck, the shoe, pulling off the shoe.
Yeah.
Making that whole reference, which apparently there's stats around that because I think the Bucks are 3-2 when his shoe comes off.
Right.
So it just was so, it did wonders for that.
The 450 through the table.
Yeah.
Scared the shit out of me. The pile driver on the ladder made me
cringe.
But it all comes down to what we wanted.
Yeah.
Guy carrying popcorn through the fucking arena.
Just
ends up in the ring.
Pulling people off.
Sting fan still there, huh?
Yeah, it's wild what Scapegoat can do. The reveal, the devil smile.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
So let me ask you this, and I've been waiting since it happened to now ask you this. Has Jack Perry just solidified that he's still a pillar?
Yeah. This made Jack Perry. This whole situation made Jack Perry.
Here in a hot second.
Well, I'm not even including Wednesday. I'm talking about the Punk thing. Everything just made Jack Perry a star.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this was the perfect fucking move for him. I don't think Jungle Boy will ever be brought up when you mention Jack Perry again. Not that I hated Jungle Boy.
Right. But that was his. Well, and I've thought about it for a long time, is how do you transition out of Jungle Boy Jack Perry to just Jack Perry. This is how you do that.
With a fucking anvil. This is how you do it.
We thought a couple weeks ago, what the fuck were they trying to do? Showing the footage, do everything. You know, why would they do that, etc.
I still don't think the footage helped.
I disagree. I think it kind of helped their cause. I think it was weird that they did it for the storyline. But for some reason, I think that footage being shown has also helped Jack Perry solidify him as people love him and people want Jack Perry. They want more of him because it created a controversial cloud around him again. The footage, despite what we think of it and whether it should have been shown or not, did more good for Jack than it did anything else.
Okay.
So, again, would I have shown it? No. But I think at the end of the day, it's helped Jack Perry and this whole thing kind of push it forward.
What title is Jack getting?
I don't know, see, because international title seems to be held up. I think Jack Perry's just going to be around right now, unless he gets something in ROH. I don't know, but I think he's just around right now, just kind of helping or doing things like that.
And I'm hoping that, actually. I'm hoping.
Yeah, I agree. I have to say this about this match. I would like to thank the fans for chanting, "Please be careful."
Yes.
I was just dying. I was just laughing at that.
Yeah. Match of the year with Ospreay and Danielson to match of the year with Bucks and FTR in two different categories. Moving into Swerve and Joe. Again, this would be a contender because there was layers of this and there were stories of this. And it's rough to have this match on after these two. And I'm not saying they didn't steal the show, essentially, but it's rough after two amazing matches. The only thing bad I have to say about this match is why the fuck was he wearing Dark Spider-Man? And I didn't, this whole Swerve thing coming out, I'm stupid when it comes to stuff like that. I hate it. What is it reference to?
It's Black Panther. So
now I know.
It made sense. Yeah.
Now, but
so Black, with it being Black Panther, I think it kind of, I thought it was cool. I thought it was, I won't lie, I thought it was out of place a little bit, but I didn't know, but I get why they went down that path and that.
Now I do, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it was more of a, okay, it's like Black Panther getting ready to go to battle. Because that's been, now actually thinking about this and going back into the lore, I actually now like this a little bit more. So, in the Black Panther movies, to be king, you can challenge the king to a fight. And if you win that fight, you become the new king of Wakanda. So him being Black Panther, he's challenging the king of AEW, Joe, to basically, I want to become king of AEW, so I need to challenge a champion. And he was looking to take the crown, and then that layer on top of it made sense with it.
Makes complete sense. I'm not the Marvel or comic, essentially, guy, so I'm glad you know, a little bit of a backstory for us that aren't. Completely makes sense now, and don't listen to what I said 5 minutes ago. I completely love it now. So, yeah.
Yep.
In this feud, this match did everything it needed to as well. I love this match. Like I said, I really did. I'm glad Swerve won. I'm glad all of this. I don't want to say it got lost, though, tonight. I think there should have been some more separation from the first two matches. And I'm not speaking bad of it. The Danielson and Bucks match, essentially, I was worn out emotionally by the time this match came around. I didn't know if I had enough emotion to give these two. Anxiety, stress-driven, three back-to-back-to-back matches. 47-year-old, I'm having a fucking heart attack at 11:30 at night.
With the two W's you already drank on top of that, it wasn't right. It was driving you. I will agree. I thought the same, but I was also like, to me, it was more of, okay, we've done the spectacle, the majesty. Let's bring it back down to AEW standard levels, kick our feet up, and just watch it transpire. And I love that it went. I love that transition because I think it made it even more special because it wasn't a letdown match. It was more of, this is the product we can put out week to week, month to month, year to year, and it's consistently good. It's consistently great, top-notch wrestling that can transcend time, and it puts over our younger stars to push the company forward. And essentially one of our new pillars to be established.
Thank you. That was on the list to ask.
It literally cemented Swerve as their pillar. And now we go back to the discussion. Your pillars, there's 3 right now. It's Swerve, MJF, and Jack. Because Jack's very established. The 4th,
I hate to say we don't have a pillar for the women anymore.
We don't, because the way they've treated Britt has just gone off the rails. But the women in general, it's just been not great.
Yeah, hidgely.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I think it just finally established Swerve has grown up from us hating that he beat the Acclaimed when he should have lost to us praising what he's been doing with the Mobile Embassy, with Nana, with his character development itself. Because let's be honest, if last year the stuff with AR Fox, his visa and everything didn't transpire and he would have been able to do what he needed to do, I think Swerve would have made AR Fox. And I think Swerve became that guy that can make people relevant again and make them somebody to be desired to see work for the fans in that.
Yep, I agree. I've said it when we started talking about this in this segment. I think we both are giving it kudos. This is a 6-pack for me.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Really, overall, this is a 6-pack. As of right now, this is overtaking. I had WrestleMania up there, probably as pay-per-view of the year. And it's no shot on anybody else because of the stories from WrestleMania and some of the matches and everything like that. I really did have it at number 1 because the spectacles. This is going to be rough. And I know AEW brings it, and we say it the following month, and Double or Nothing will probably be talking.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be tough to get past number 1 for me because there's definitely 2 match of the years on this card. For me, I don't know, unless Jesus Christ and Satan come to Double or Nothing and have a match, I don't know. This is probably going to be pay-per-view of the year. So being nicely, yes, a 6-pack on real ratings, but this is a fucking keg for me.
Well, let's be honest. We got drunk off of Ospreay, and we're blackout from Ospreay and Danielson, and then we don't know what we had after that.
We did a line from the Bucks and FTR.
It was just something or another. Everything hit hitting, and it hit well, and it hit often.
Yeah. For real, there was only one match I completely hated on this card. Other ones did what they needed to. They were short on time because sometimes the women just are still getting shit on. You know, always wave that flag. There was only one match that I would have, if I could have fast-forwarded live, I would have fast-forwarded live, and we all know what that was.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Man, that would have been nice, wouldn't it have been?
Can you fast-forward live?
Yeah.
All right. Let's take a break, get a drink, do what we need to do, come back, and then third segment kind of just encapsulates stuff overall. What happened on Dynamite, what happened on Raw, what happened here, what happened there, what we like just in general of wrestling to keep this a little bit shorter.
Yep.
What up, everyone? This is Elride, the one-man zoo, and I have to just say, there's a little goat in me. So if you like Can Crushers, I eat them. They're not trash. Eat it, beat it.
Welcome back, everybody, to Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. It's time to talk about segment 3 and talk about the week in wrestling. But I do have an interesting statistics thing to come up.
What did you do during break?
Did some research, did some digging, did some things. Came across this post by Brandon Thurston, who's a wrestling economic guy, wrestlingeconomics.com, and he listed the live gates for every WrestleMania. The year it was made and what its equivalent to 2024 would be. So the inflation, with inflation included. So I don't want to make you guess what it would be, but I think there's some interesting stats here that we can pull out, obviously. But from 1985, right, the live gate was $500,000 in 1985. By 2024, with inflation for 2024 numbers, it was 1.5 million. Okay. Think about that.
That's huge.
It's huge. But 2024, WrestleMania 40's live gate, $38.5 million.
Damn. So you have to give some of the hot ones that we love and that we talk about.
Yeah, we're gonna talk through it. Here's let's go 2001 because I will talk up WrestleMania 17 to the live on end. WrestleMania 17's gate in 2001 was $3.5 million.
Wow, little.
That little. By today's standards, that would be $6.2 million.
Okay. Still low. Lower than I thought.
Yeah. Very, very low. Here's an interesting one. What year do you think was the first time they posted, and by their year standards, they posted double-digit live gates? So 10 million live gate by that year's standards. What year would you have thought that would have been?
Well, the way that you just roll those numbers out, I have to think it's much later. What was it? Rock Hogan?
You're saying in 18?
Yeah.
Well, WrestleMania 18, surprisingly enough, it was only 3.9 million that year was their live gate.
Really? I thought that with that being a megalodon and, I thought, so it's not prior to that then. Listen.
No, it's way later than that then.
Was it just last year?
No, it was, surprisingly enough, WrestleMania 29 was the first time they posted a double-digit live gate. So by 2013 standards, WrestleMania 29, 11.3 million. Adjusted for inflation, 15.2.
Holy moly.
Yeah. In WrestleMania 30, they actually dropped down under 10 for the live gate.
What was the jump from 28 to 29 then? Was it a mega jump?
3 million. 8.3 million in 2012 was the live gate. So think about that. That was the Cena Rock series, both of those. So the rematch, I would assume, was the one that generated that bump.
So much in my head right now. I want to know my two of my favorites. So give me 4 and 10 at some time, but I have to get this out of my head or I'm not going to say it. With the amount of, and I know we're talking millions here, people. I know we really are. With the amount of money, fanfare, yada 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 yada, I'm shocked that the first 10 years, okay, I could probably see those numbers continuing just in the millions before we get to double digits. I thought maybe after that, and there was some rough years in there before everybody jumps on me, I understand that, but I thought maybe after that it had to have been in double digits, if not, we don't look at money a lot. I thought maybe looking at fucking triple digits by this year, essentially. I mean,
Yeah, we're not even
40
close.
years in, and they're only bringing in, I'm just going to throw it out, a stupid number, $50 million. Okay?
Yeah.
They're only bringing in, just to round it to equal numbers, $50 million. That's great. This is their biggest show, and they've only hit double digits essentially 11 years ago.
Yeah.
That blows my mind.
Oh, yeah.
That absolutely blows my mind.
It's wild. First 10 years, they really, I think the largest amount they got was $3.5 million at WrestleMania 6 for Hogan, Warrior.
Give me 3, since Andre and Hogan is one of the matches of the century being marketed.
In 1988, WrestleMania 3 live gate was $1.6 million.
And I know, understanding money to then, that means a lot. What's that 1.6 mean now?
4.4 million.
It's still, for Andre Hogan, in my head, that's not enough. No.
Going back to Warrior Hogan, adjusted for today was 8.3 million. So they got close to breaking it by today's standards, but didn't happen. You wanted WrestleMania 4 earlier in 10, right? So WrestleMania 4, 1.4 million. They actually went down, lost 0.2 compared to Hogan and Andre. 10 breaks even at $1 million.
Wow.
In fact, according to these stats, the last show under $1 million, besides COVID, because it was 0, they didn't sell any tickets, obviously. Well, they sold tickets, but they had to refund and whatnot. The last show, last Mania under $1 million, was actually WrestleMania 13.
Wow.
0.8. So they only made 800,000.
That blows my mind. Listen, early years, again, 1, 2. What's 2? Because it was all over the fucking country.
2 was 1.1 million.
Okay. Whatever. It just blows my mind that they weren't in double digits, honestly, by 10.
Yeah.
Because the fanfare and the amount that they had is probably... Maybe it's all in our heads, but they were paying people like Pamela Anderson to come, or people like Liberace, or da-da-da. Maybe they were doing it for nothing, just to say, hey, they weren't doing it for nothing. You know that.
Right.
I thought, like Pamela Anderson, they had to give them $1 million.
Yeah. No.
They'd be fucking losing then.
I think
they didn't lose.
Right. I think by today's standards, it would have been $1 million, but they probably only had to pay her like $30,000 to show up then. Right. You know what I mean? I was going to make a point. What blows my mind is they didn't even break 5 million until WrestleMania 23. That was the first time they posted a $5 million gate. That's by your standards. Yeah.
Right. By that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That. Unbelievable. Great find.
Yeah, it's something else. I mean, yeah, I'll have to send you this list.
Yeah, you need to send me that. Because I'll probably deep dive into this, just looking at it, and I'm like, whoa. Yeah. We started with WWE. Why don't we do not hot topics. We already did those.
Yeah, we did do those.
Roundup, essentially. So, yes, I did remember at the beginning of the show that I went to SmackDown.
So I reminded you.
Thought it was at work. Listen, it was in Pittsburgh. Got a late call to be able to go do it. That was really cool. Listen, 2 noteworthy things about SmackDown when I was there. The AJ LA Knight match was actually phenomenal. It did what it needed to do. I in my heart of hearts, I knew AJ was going to win because I think a week or 2 earlier, Cody had already made reference to AJ about NWA championship and, they kind of never met before, whatever that whole spiel was. And I don't think it's time for a face-face, because LA Knight, listen, as much as I don't like him, he's still amazingly hot. That's not Cody's first opponent. You bury LA Knight, in my thoughts, if you put LA and Cody at Backlash. Yeah, Cody's 100%. Not losing.
Cody's not losing for a while. So
EJ can take the loss and still look amazing.
Oh, yeah, exactly. He's at that level he's at that legendary level, so people are going to buy it. Okay, Cody beat AJ, that makes sense. LA Knight, I think he's just going to be, I don't think he sniffs that title picture for this year.
I don't think he sniffs the heavyweight title ever. I think he gets a US.
I agree. He'll run with those, but he'll never touch the heavyweight championships.
There's no disrespect.
You can tell it's just the way it is.
Being an IC and US champion.
Yep. And be great in that. Yeah, and be great in that regard. What was your other topic?
My other one was Bayley Naomi, and with all the shenanigans happening kind of like directly behind us, my thoughts of that main event were Bayley and Naomi, because you showed Damage Control and Bianca and Jade for a reason. So I thought, listen, they were right next to each other. They were chirping. I kept turning around thinking, all right, a melee is going to happen there. And then because Bayley and Naomi are friends with them, they go help them, double count out, and we get craziness ensuing in the commercial break so they can get up to the balcony essentially and help them. When Tiffy came out, and I don't know how this resonated on TV, the fucking place went, I'm spitting all over the place because I'm getting excited, so voices here. When Tiffy came out, the place exploded for Tiff. Tiff is, we're ruining all Crushie Awards. Tiff is already the female breakout star of the year.
Yeah.
I don't know who is going to overtake it. I don't know if you can. Yeah.
No.
The place went apeshit crazy. She is already in that pseudo realm of, she's trying to be dastardly. She could do anything in the middle of the ring, and we were going to cheer for her.
Yeah.
She's that over with. Everybody just loves her. Everybody wants to see that next thing. Who did we talk about being, Rhea was talking about it at WrestleMania, that she's going to be the one that gets rid of the horsewomen,
Yeah.
I think Tiffy's there too. Already without a title. Not knocking her NXT stuff, but I think she's already there because she's just...
The popularity's there. It's going... She's going places with where she's at right now, and they're booking her appropriately for how they need to present her and get her forward. To your point, my breakout star, too, is going to be Tiffy because she's just running away with it and taking anything that they give her and going for it, going for broke, going for gold, whatever it is. I think it becomes a thing. I think it presents an interesting conundrum in the next week when we talk about Backlash next week. Are they going to pull that trigger or not?
And I'll have thoughts on that next week.
You can have thoughts on that next week, and I'll have my thoughts too. It's not outside the realm of possibilities that it could happen.
Right.
I think...
Would it be considered a Liv Morgan taste? Or is it a run? And we don't have to answer those now.
Yeah.
I say a little teaser, but...
I think that's a great point. That is 100% a great point. What does that run look like at this stage in the game? 2 months, 3 months after a debut, whatever it is? What does that look like?
How's Trips feel about her?
Well, I think we have our answer right now.
I do too. Without spoiling it, I do too.
Yep. Agreed.
So, we're just throwing shit against the wall, essentially. What else did you like WWE-wise, essentially, then?
I want to call this out. Tag titles, man, are something I'm trying hard to digest. I think the SmackDown new tag titles are fine. The designs.
I love them. They're the old. They're
the 2000
Demolition.
Early. The early
they're
on
old callback ones. I love them. I would buy that title.
Love those ones. The Raw ones. Oof, that is
Garbage.
Forced.
Yeah. I don't like them at all.
I hate those Raw tag titles. I will say they're better than the Spartan Armor ones that we had.
Yeah.
But those are just... We're forcing it at that point. That world title design.
Because it's the same design as Priest. It just has a red ribbon on it.
Yep, red ribbon. Same as Rhea, besides it being a black belt.
Right. But at least on SmackDown, there's the whatever Cody has, the emblem as Cody's title. And Bailey's got the same thing. Okay, so those are your championships, whatever.
Yeah.
At least there's separation of the tag titles. It looks completely different. It is you know it's a tag title. If there's two titles next to each other, you know it's a tag title. You take Priest's title and one tag title from R-Truth, and you put them in the ring, and you blink and you look real quick, you don't know which one's which.
Yeah.
Unless you really see, and that red's not predominant on there.
No.
It is just a little...
It's a hint.
It's a kindergartner drawing on it.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't like them.
Not a fan. Not a fan whatsoever of them.
No.
But at least we got something different, so we'll take it.
Right.
I think from WWE-wise, the other big thing is we got Tama Tonga. This Bloodline thing has just reignited what we thought could be going stale. They picked back up, turned it into something completely different. So I'm loving the direction that's going now and how that's proceeding forward.
I am too. Just disregarding real quick everything. Draft is all going to be covered next week. So yes, we are recording Saturday morning, but we like keeping everything encapsulated the way that we do it. So we'll cover the draft all next week. But yes, with Solo essentially making himself the tribal chief, without,
or at least it appears that way. Yeah.
Right. Heyman scared shitless of him, where he had, I don't want to say he had power over Roman, but he would go nose to nose with Roman a little bit. Petrified of Solo.
Well, he knew with Roman it was a conversation, and Roman would seek his advice. With Solo don't give a shit. Solo wants the world to burn. And he's taking words that Heyman said quite literally about there's consequences to losing. So now Solo is taking that and just burning it all down.
Yeah.
And if he is the tribal chief, great, but I know he's getting marching orders from others. And that's what makes this 10 times better. Is he's acting right now as it, but really the final boss is calling these shots.
You think?
And when that reveal happens, chef's kiss.
Let me say, how long is Jimmy MIA?
For a long time. I think
so that spear through the table killed him.
I think so. I think they're going to, then Solo attacked him. Tama took him out. Unless he's going to make a run-in for to help KO and Randy at some point. I don't think that's the case. I think he's gone. I think they put him off TV for a while to sell this. And he comes back down the line when we try to reclaim whatever the bloodline actually is.
It's going to be he comes back to save his brother at some point.
I think it's save his brother or save Roman.
Okay.
Because Roman is not calling these shots.
No.
Roman's
that's why Solo's allowing Paul to call him.
Yep, exactly. Roman is methodical. This is chaos.
Yeah. And I love it.
I love it too.
There's so many more layers now to the bloodline, and ready for the big fucking stir? Could Cody at some time have to help Roman?
I think so. And I think it happens in November.
Right.
Ponder that. Because I think it'll be 4-on-4. You need a fourth man. Cody's going to eventually get into the crosshairs of this new bloodline regime.
It's keeping separated for a while.
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't want to say well after SummerSlam, but
I think SummerSlam
might
the catalyst to get it, yeah, to push it.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Outside of that, I'm trying to think. Rhea's on the shelf, so hopefully she'll be better coming up here. We got
Dom on the shelf now, too.
Dom's on the shelf, although his doesn't appear to be, he doesn't need surgery, I don't think, besides reports that are coming out from other people. So hopefully that figures that out with Judgment Day. I think the split may actually happen with Judgment Day just by necessity of injuries right now, the way things are going. But
we had a look of Dom and Liv together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it. It might work. Don't get me wrong. I don't want it because I don't want when Rhea comes back and Liv is champion. Let's just throw that out there. I'm not saying it's this week, next week, or whenever, but let's call a horse.
Yeah.
That's when Rhea comes back, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
I would think Liv will be the champion.
Yeah.
I don't want it forced over Dom. That's the story. We're going to fight over Dom and the title. It may work, and I may change my thoughts down the line. It was just too early for them. Well, fuck, she just left last week, and Dom's already got a wandering eye for another mommy. Too early for me.
Are they playing Dom as a simp card here, so we're getting a custody battle of him, or are they playing him as the next Eddie Guerrero and building him Latino heat, where mommy's gone for 1 week and now I have a wandering eye?
Yeah, I think it's too soon. Well, now that he's on the shelf for a little bit. I don't think we go down that path.
I think they might, because it gives him something to do. If he's only rehabbing, he can still come to TV and do what he needs to do. So they might just go down that path to have that happen. And then when Rhea's ready, this all gets blown up at some capacity to that.
Does Liv pseudo join the Judgment Day for a week or two then, essentially?
No, I think she draws him away from the Judgment Day.
Yeah, that's where I was going to.
Yeah, I think that's the catalyst to move Dom out. He doesn't beat anybody up, doesn't turn on anybody. He just naturally drifts away from Judgment Day because he doesn't have his mommy, essentially, to keep him wrangled into it.
Yeah, he's already little linked with Santos now and Legato.
Yep.
Still, who's fighting the LWO for a year and a half now.
Right.
But, yeah, JD, I think, gets lost in the shuffle. Finn can do Finn things because he's got notoriety.
He's
going to champ.
Finn and Priest is going to happen. Clash at the Castle, probably. So, yeah.
Judgment Day lasted longer than we thought. If we're going to throw shit against the wall, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it lasted longer. It grew. It turned into something more relevant than what we thought. And surprisingly, it looks like injury is what's going to be the catalyst to kind of push it away.
Yeah.
And break it down.
What else you got?
WWE-wise, let's see where Imperium goes from here. Now that they're down a member and that.
Nothing against Gio. No, nothing against Kaiser, I mean. I think this is a good move. I think Gio can do something and actually pull from it. I think he could be, I don't want to say a la Cedric, but I don't know if I want to say he sniffs the title, but I think he can transition into something else that makes him. Kaiser's a tough sell for me. Yeah, I have a feeling that him and Gunther are going to have a blow up here in seconds as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Imperium's done for me as well.
So I think we know where Imperium goes or where Tiffy goes in the draft based on who gets drafted first, because we know Ludwig and Tiffy are item.
Right.
I think my point to that statement is, where does that storyline go? To me, I don't think Kaiser's any more than a lackey. And I think he has to stay associated with Gunther, so he's going to do whatever he can to make him happy. So whatever show they end up on, it's going to be to make Gunther happy. Is it find another member to kind of bring into the fold? Is it to what is going to happen here to develop it? And I'll pull in the Alpha Academy stuff right now.
Right.
That's imploding on its own right. Looks like they're going to take their marching orders, but I don't know how long that's going to last.
Minimal.
And so to your point with Gunther and Ludwig, if they do blow up, I think it's because Gunther adds Gable as another member of Imperium. I truly think that might be the catalyst.
We've been saying we love that idea.
Because then it pushes Kaiser to do more, be more ruthless in that to survive being removed from Gunther.
I'm stuck on Gio. Does Gio drop back down to NXT and do a cool run?
I think he does. I think he provides a good catalyst for the NXT. Because NXT was supposed to get draft picks in this, I thought.
I did too.
And I don't know what happened there, but they didn't get any on Monday. So I think he does go down and kind of gets a good draft. Maybe gets drafted or just gets sent down. And he has a decent run there. I think he can be in the North American title picture. I think he can build himself up to be the NXT champion at some point. They've added some sympathy to him because he got kicked out of Imperium, and the way he did, take that next step.
Did you know instantly he was getting kicked out? The fake hugs and everything.
Yeah, it was too much.
Oversold.
Yeah.
Rubbing his head. I'm like, well, this is when they break up. Boom. Done.
They should have just let him walk off like normal and then pull the trigger.
Tackle from behind.
Yep.
Yeah. What else you got?
Nothing. We included the Alpha Academy kind of thing. You know, Chad turned heel, so I
have Drew and Sheamus.
You got Drew and Sheamus? All right, what do you got?
I don't know. I don't want it. We're going to get it.
I think they just need something for Drew to do, and Sheamus is a safe option.
And listen, I know Sheamus has had matches, right? I understand. But they haven't been barn burner matches.
Yeah.
These two grew up together, they drank together, yada, yada, all of that. It's a great first rivalry for Sheamus to come back on. Take an L, make Drew look like the biggest bastard working on his neck, to continue with that and everything.
Yep.
But it is a great, all right, Sheamus, let's make sure you really are okay.
Yeah.
With your homeboy to protect you.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's test the waters. That's a great way of putting that. Let's test your waters, make sure you are in the clear, and then we'll give you something more to do after that. I think he'll be fine. I think he's shown that he's been pretty decent in the ring and all that. So we'll see. I think it's a formidable name because Sheamus has now entered that higher profile superstar. You can put Randy Orton-esque thing of you can plop him into anything. You're like, oh, it's Sheamus, so it's going to be a big deal.
Yeah. Body shaming, though. The motherfucker went to body shaming.
Why? Well, because everybody else did. Because why not? Right. But I love that Sheamus is like, oh, I got called up early, so I wasn't in shape. I'm like, Okay, fair enough. Let's see what you can do.
Yeah.
Day one at the gym, he went for it. So
Listen, I've always kind of liked Sheamus. There's something about him that listen, I want to go have a beer with him. I really do.
Oh, yeah.
He'd be a fucking blast to talk about. He's a huge soccer fan. I wouldn't mind getting in a conversation with him about soccer or whatever. So a little bit of my heart goes out to him. And we get Sheamus against Shinsuke.
Okay.
Is he just waiting for his contract to end? I know
at this point,
he's fucking taking money to the bank each and every week. But he's like, dude, just
cut me.
Get me out of here.
Yeah. I think he was done with it with Vince, and then nothing really came out of it. But Triple H wants to use him because he's a good hand. He's a great wrestler. But I think you're right. I think he's just like, when's my shit done? Let me go be with Okada.
Yeah.
Let me go hang out with my friend.
If there's one this year that I will say that I would probably put money on, not that we condone betting or anything, but I would imagine he's, following Tyler and Becky.
Yep.
Right on the way. So let's talk about Becky.
Okay.
We get this essentially main event, which I'm glad that they gave them the main event.
Yeah,
Even though it was a shitty battle royal. I think they could have done it some way different, but...
Well, they can't do a battle royal, save their lives, but that's a different story for a different time.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're not just saying women. We're talking all of WWE.
All of them,
the only thing good about a battle royal is a Royal Rumble in WWE. Do you think it was right to put it on Becky? This is my last thing on WWE I have, by the way. Do you think it was good to put on Becky?
With the women involved, yes, because I think it builds the story up for Liv to take it off of her in a one-on-one match. I think if she would have won the title right away, it would have been more cheapish than it would have been like, okay, she wins the title and then Rhea comes back, right?
Right.
So I feel like it adds a little more to the story, and it gives us the third time Liv has come as a runner-up to the world title. Oh, so close, but yet so far away. She's been the runner-up to the Royal Rumble the past 2 years. She's come close in this. She's a runner-up here. The Chamber, technically she was the runner-up in the Chamber, despite it, bing, bang, boom, it was over as quick as it looked. So I think her coming up short helps her story more and more to reestablish that when she does get that win, it'll be something special for about 2 seconds, and then Rhea's coming back to basically steal the thunder away from her.
So without spoiling anything, do you think WWE already did? Because how are we getting it on, Liv? Money in the Bank? Is that your Money in the Bank winner again?
I don't know. I don't know if it's Money in the Bank winner or maybe it's a Backlash.
That quick?
Thing? Maybe.
That quick, and we make it to, how long is Rhea? 6 to 8?
Probably 6 to 8. So she would have to get to October at the minimum. Rhea's a Rumble.
Oh, yeah. That's
Rhea's Rumble return now.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
So maybe it's not that quick. Maybe it's sometime in the fall. Liv finally gets to come up and to get the title off of Becky. And then Rhea.
That's why I said Money in the Bank. She gets it and she lingers with it. We actually have, and we say this all the time, Priest has held it for a year and a half and we're like, holy shit, get rid of the goddamn thing, Priest.
Yeah.
Women have never held it. Carmella's been the only one.
Well, and here's where I say, this is going back to why I said Backlash. If Becky's truly gone, they have to get the title off of her in 2 weeks. So I think you have to give it to Liv at that point. Like, that would be the person. If Liv gets the title at Backlash, or if somebody gets the title at Backlash from Becky, Becky's leaving.
Oh. Yeah.
We said it about
We've been
that if she didn't win at Rumble. Yeah. Well, we've been saying that, well, if she didn't win WrestleMania, then she was leaving. Well, now Rhea's injured, so they had to put her as champion for the time being. So unless she's staying, fantastic. But if she's going, the next week, it has to be off of her. It's the way it goes.
Yeah.
Or the next month at some point, it needs to be off of her.
So what is there? There's Backlash, and then we go to Saudi for the King and Queen of the Ring.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have
It's Clash at the Castle.
Clash at the Castle.
Money in the Bank, SummerSlam.
Why not? She could lose it. Maybe she is waiting Clash at the Castle.
But is that after her contract's up?
Well, I know. I mean, dates-wise and everything, we're close. It's in June, right?
It's in June. It's like mid-June.
Yeah.
I think it's mid-June. So maybe it's a handshake deal.
I'll give you this one until June, and that's where
you got to drop
Liv
it.
takes it there. You're close to home, right?
Yeah.
You know, WWE doesn't love doing things for you at home.
At home, yeah.
That's her farewell.
Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of injury. There's that whole shift into parameter, essentially, that, you know, it clearly was going to be Rhea Liv. We're going to get that whole redemption story, yada, yada, yada. Becky in it. Liv can still have a redemption story, but it's not redeeming anything against Becky. So no. I think there's Becky wins it because she's a placeholder right now. Not even saying transition. I think there may be a transition champion coming, which could be a Nia or somebody like that.
Yeah.
That there's a history with Becky at least to get to. I think Money in the Bank for the women is noteworthy. This, not that it's never not noteworthy, but I think that starts the catalyst to get back to Liv and Rhea at Rumble.
Well, I think, I think Liv Rhea is WrestleMania.
Oh yeah,
but the story kicks off at Rumble. Yeah.
We're already longer than 25, so let's go through AEW.
Let's do it. We always do this.
I know. We said we were going to probably be short, but when we say we're short, we're fucking long.
Long. Every single time. All right.
I want to jump right to it, essentially. Man, when Tony got his ass kicked, and we made reference to it and everything, this was absolutely beautiful. And Tony, not being trained, just looked like a fucking ragdoll.
Yeah.
I love that Terry just punched him in the gut with the microphone. Took the Meltzer drive.
I love that he no-sold the microphone until about 3 seconds after, and then remembered, I got punched in the gut. I gotta
fall down.
I have to hold my stomach.
I think everybody wanted the EVP trigger. Wouldn't have that? But that would have been more for the Bucks then, and this was supposed to be about Jack.
Yeah, this is supposed to be about Jack. So the Meltzer driver did its thing, and now the scapegoat's in the EVP's pocket, basically.
I wish Okada didn't come out. He's part of the group, but there's not history enough for him to worry about this realm of EVP and Jack.
Well, I think there's enough to make him be there. Because if they're bringing Jack into the elite, then I think he has to be at least there as a representative, as a member. Right? And then be the Scott Hall who points at the move as it's happening.
Right?
Yeah. So I think that made sense in that terms. I think what's also going to be the next catalyst is when Omega just shows up next week just to be there. What's going to happen there? What does that dynamic look like with the scapegoat, with the EVPs, with Okada? I think there's enough history for Okada to hang around just because of the threads that can be pulled for the next level, for the elite level that this is going to get taken.
When a match happens, does Tony put himself in the corner of Omega against Okada?
Yes, but we're going to get a Bischoff. This is going to be like NWO.
Yep.
Bischoff reveal. When the match happens, I think there's going to be a multi-man match, Double or Nothing. The new Elite versus the old Elite, however they want to frame that. Or it's Omega. I think Hangman shows up. Back. You know, you have 3-on-3. Find a fourth guy. I don't know who you would find as a fourth guy, to be honest. But you get 4 guys, 4-on-4. They collide. Khan comes out, costs Kenny the match.
Yep. That's exactly where my head was going. I didn't think multi-man. I thought maybe like a solo, you know, not a title match from Okada and Omega. Yeah. Just, we're fucking fighting because we've never really liked each other. These punks put you in. I want my spot back. Da-da-da-da-da. Omega, I mean, Khan was like, yeah, you're standing up for me in AEW.
And then Khan, it's got to be Ibushi.
He's fucking,
he's elite. He's leading it. It's got to be Ibushi that they bring in, I would assume.
Yeah.
But I think this is your blood and guts match too.
I do too.
I think this is going to get heated very quickly.
It has legs, so it can last that long.
The legs are already running.
Yeah.
Before the body's even built.
Yeah.
Let's say that.
Oh, without a doubt. There's an end before this started.
Yes.
You know what I mean? The end was, and I understand that's a lot how wrestling is written, but this was written as soon as they had a talk with Okada.
Mm-hmm.
The day that they said, hey, my name's Tony Khan, you're Okada, this was already written at some point.
Yep. And I think everybody expected it at some point.
Right. They didn't have an idea how they were getting there.
But they knew it was going to happen at some point, but I think from their standpoint, it was going to happen immediately because that establishes Okada. This whole thing establishes Okada, which it turns out they didn't need to establish Okada because Okada's just perfect.
Right. We talked about Dynasty. I don't know if I think, no disrespect to Fletcher. We've already talked, we love Fletcher. I don't think Swerve and Fletcher should have happened. I don't think they should have passed in the night. I don't think this should have been Swerve's first match since champion. Why does he have a match before he talks to us, essentially?
Yeah.
Now he's talking to us tonight as we're recording, essentially on Collision. Not that it hurt Fletcher, because Fletcher's amazing. I don't care. He's there as well. I just didn't want to see this. Swerve should have beat up anybody else. I don't care who else. But
yeah,
I think it hurt Fletcher a little bit. Even though he's champ, I think it hurt him.
I think Swerve needed to, have his champion's promo and get it interrupted more than he needed to just showcase himself in a match and be a fighting champion. I mean, that's just how I think our minds work similarly in that regard. But I think to that point, they may not have wanted to pull that trigger because they were trying to do something with Willow later in the night with her championship celebration at Chuck E. Cheese. But, whatever. It was what it was. So I think they were just trying to put something over to get it there.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Well, they were celebrating at Chuck E. Cheese after the victory. You guys saw the photos.
Yeah. I don't know. The International Gauntlet match, as soon as Ospreay came out, was anybody else winning?
Well, I agree. I think I liked it for the sense that it teased several new matches for Ospreay that nobody even fathomed. Like him and O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Let's go.
Let's do that. Let's go down that path. So I think that helped in regards to it. I think that was more of we're teasing Ospreay and this guy versus this guy or this guy and that. I think it was more to tease matches than anything else with Ospreay.
Is this a title he wins?
I think so. I think he wins this title, and it goes right back to the Danielson thing. I think Danielson takes the title off of him because he can't pull the trigger, and then we bring this full circle at All In, and he ends Danielson's full-time in-ring career.
And as we were speaking, listen, this title and the group that it's with right now is doing nothing for both.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. Don't be surprised if that's the main event and the world title is defended the next week in All In or All Out Chicago.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be 100% what happens there.
I do too. Yep. Jericho sucked. Mox retaining against Hobbs. Listen, let's just throw this out there. We throw this out there each and every time a title from across seas comes over here. It is not going to be lost on a weekly TV show in America. I don't care if it was Mox against Danielson, who does go over, or Mox against Shinsuke when he gets here, or Mox against anybody. It's not going to be lost here. This was just to say, Mox is back and he's got a title. He's going to beat some ass. And poor Hobbs had to be the one that got his ass beat again.
But to that point, he's got the title.
Oh, yeah.
For IWGP.
Right.
So, how long does he keep it for now? I say Forbidden Door.
Yeah. That's where it could.
Yeah, I say they do the title swap there. The question is, who's he dropping it to at that point? I don't know.
Yashida?
But is that the one at Double or Nothing, though? Because that's what that feels like.
It does. I don't know. Ooh.
Watch, we're talking out our ass, and it's Ospreay Mox at Forbidden Door for the title.
Because Ospreay likes to travel, too.
Yeah, Ospreay wants to travel.
8 hours home, 8 hours wrestle, 8 hours back home. We talked about the Jack Perry thing. We talked about Chuck E. Cheese. Deeb in line for a title shot?
Looking that way, doesn't it? I'm also intrigued by the fact that she came out in a similar scenario with Anna Jay involved. So is Anna Jay her understudy?
I think that needs to happen for real, though.
That's the actual learning tree I would like to see.
Yeah.
I mean, because that'll be interesting. The techniques, how they foster that and build that up with Anna Jay. But I think Deeb's the next in line for the title.
Are we getting a tag match first? Deeb, Anna Jay, Storm, May. Maybe. To take the title to the next pay-per-view. Waiting maybe for... Tony's had a lengthy run this time.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing against Deeb. I don't think Deeb needs to be champion. I would love for her to get her flowers to be champion.
Yeah.
I just think Deeb is no more than a month champion when she is.
I don't think Deeb ever gets the title, to be honest. I think she's just there to be the veteran.
Right.
That could be a threat.
She completely is the trainer. Everybody knows that.
Well, no, but I mean, like, just on TV, she can be the veteran threat, but she's never the I'm going to sniff the title type person. And going off of that, I think the other flip side of it, too, is that tag match, I think, happened on a Dynamite quickly.
Yeah.
To kind of throw it away. Because I think Mariah and Tony may be more later June, July blow-off type thing.
Is she being the one that's going to be Tony? Like, I really don't think it's anybody but Mariah right now.
I think it is. I think she is.
It doesn't matter if Jamie comes back, Britt comes back. Monet's taken herself to a different title now, which we all thought it would have been the other way. It's just built up for Mariah to get this anymore.
Yeah, agreed. I think it's only Mariah, and it plays right into what we said. 6 months, she beats the understudy, she gains her trust, then she turns on her.
And I've always loved Mariah prior when she was on. Well, she was still in Independence before she went overseas to do her shtick over there. But yeah, I've been a Mariah fan. I'd be fine with that. The downfall, again, I think Mariah would be a month or so. I think, and I know we keep saying this about Jamie or Britt or something. When they make a return, they also have to make a big impact. And I think either one of them walking in the door, I think one of them has to have a title within a month. Because Britt's, I will still say this, I've taken her away from pillarship a little bit. Britt would be okay. I think Jamie has lost so much from this injury, and it's sad because injuries shouldn't do that. I just think she's lost way more, that she just has to come in and be dominant and just crush and take a title instantly.
Yeah, she needs the instant satisfaction to get back what she had gained before that. Yeah,
because she won it and it was fucking ripped off of her quickly.
Yeah, she had no time with it.
No,
she had no time to run with it whatsoever.
So that's all I got.
That's all I got. We did it like normal. We always go over.
Went longer than we thought. We promised you a short show, but we're here to keep our word of longs. All right. Calling spade a spade. We're going to wrap this up quickly. What do you have going on this week, buddy?
This week we're getting ready for Backlash coming up. Odds and ends. Getting things ready. Getting things moving. Nothing crazy on the horizon. What about you?
If I don't cut my field, I'm going to have to find myself from the borough because it just, when there's a nice day, it seems like I had something to do or I had to go to a baseball game or something,
Yeah.
Raining right now. Clearly I wasn't cutting the grass today anyway because I'm going to edit this and put it up instantly. It's a live show essentially. I hope it dries out by tomorrow, but as we were talking, I was looking. I don't know if it's gonna.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know when I'm going to cut the grass again during the week because there's a tournament coming up. There's a little bit more rain coming up. If it's raining on a tournament day, when the hell does that get pushed to? That my only day would have been open. I have a late interview this week. It's crazy.
It is. You're a busy man.
It's busy because I don't want to be, but busy because I love it,
Yeah. Well, that's exactly it. You do it because you love it. If you didn't love it, then you'd be crazy.
Yeah. We love you, though, here on Can Crushers, guys. Thank you for the support forever. You guys continue to make it awesome. Listen, I looked, because I usually don't do this, so I'm going to be transparent. I looked at numbers, and we don't gloat about numbers, but I don't know. I don't know where we're finding everybody. It continues to grow, Jenks, and I saved it to the end. That it's unbelievable how many people listen to us ramble about shit in our lives and wrestling. I truly thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. We appreciate it. I'm glad to hear it's still growing. You still love us, even though we screw up half your town's names half the time anyways, trying to remember them. But thank you.
Council Bluff, right? It is Council Bluff?
I believe it's Council Bluff. I think so, or I'm making that up. I know
Toronto, who's our biggest fan as of right now.
Yeah. But it is Council Bluff, Iowa. See, it's on my note. We're good.
Remember, just because you're trash doesn't mean you can't do great things.
You're a garbage can, not a garbage can not. Make sure you tell your loved ones that you love them.
Because you never know.